Hello, everybody, and welcome to Swim or Sink 74. My name is the Splatoon Lily, and I'm joined here by the one, the only Melissa Acid Sunshine. How's it going, Melissa?
Good, you're making me blush.
That's my goal every time we commentate together. I just gotta make you blush at least once.
Well, goal accomplished. I am so excited to be here with you today, Lily. We're gonna have so much fun tonight too.
Yeah, some good chill fun. So I advertised, right? We've got some nice teams here tonight in the bracket stage, and we've got, well, I guess pool stage. And you and I are here, just gonna have a good time, gonna vibe. So if anyone's having a bad day or needs some good vibes out here, you know where to hang out.
Yeah, the soothing voice of Splatoon Lily.
And of course, the soothing voice of Acid Sunshine, the one and only Melissa, right?
No, no, the like erratic laughter. That's
Okay, but that just fills you with joy, right?
Hopefully.
Now, what isn't going to be nice and soothing is probably Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like I have always thought of this one as either one and done or stall the entire day. Like,
Right?
there's no mid ground here.
There really isn't. And it's one of those that's rarely safe either. The Rainmaker is almost never safe, but there's some that are more
Mhm.
safe than others. And this one along with Black Belly are kind of those more volatile ones, right? Where just if you let your guard down for 2 seconds, they've dunked it. And that's just so
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not too familiar with either of these teams, unfortunately, to be able to say if we're going to look at something specific and see if we're waiting on somebody that might like surprise us with one of those sneaky dunks or if we're just going to kind of see what happens too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really that sure either. I've seen Yume Star a few times in some SOSs, but I don't think I'm familiar enough with them to be able to call that. So I think we just better be on our toes the whole time. What do you think?
Love it. Great idea.
We're looking at pretty much the same comp on either team. The only real difference being the K shot on one side and the T Tech on the other. But otherwise, this is pretty much the exact same comp coming from either team.
And I mean, the K shot is like a T Tech, so is this what the meta has become? I'm sorry, I'm really out of touch, Lily. You're gonna have to carry me on the meta knowledge tonight.
Yeah, pretty much. This is what the meta looks like. The K shot being a little bit more meta than the Inkjet on that T Tech, and already we see a push coming out from Yume Star, trying to get that Rainmaker set over on the right. Some really good pressure from that Inkjet in through mid, but not really getting too much further forward just yet.
It was a really nice push. I think 78 is pretty good so far, and they're still kind of working towards moving it a little further. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make it that far. It looks like a lot of pressure is trying to come in, so it seems that they're just sort of holding it there. But if they can make it up on this rail, they'll have really, really nice numbers on that too.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused on how we got this far back, but the thing about Rainmaker is kind of the longer you hold on to it, the more you are at risk of not getting a push off. So it looks like we're about to see that Rainmaker go down, unfortunately, to some bubbles, maybe? Or get swarmed by some players. But it looks like they're hanging on there surprisingly well, despite their timer ticking down a little bit far here.
Yeah, that's some real skill actually. To
Yeah.
hold the Rainmaker that long for the timer to actually time you out and reset it. That was really interesting to watch and I think very smart at that point because they are trying to tick the time down. Maybe it's working towards that safety you were talking about earlier too.
Yeah, it could be. And now we're getting into a really good position here for Squidbucks, but they're getting bombarded a little bit with some specials. Aren't going to be able to get that push off. Waited just a little bit too long to start moving forward. So, I mean, so far in this match, we've seen some incredible stalling coming out from both teams, which kind of makes me nervous for the rest of the game. Like, is 78 going to be the farthest we see it go?
On this map, that would be really, really low or high, however it is, not exactly what you're expecting. But this is usually the choke point, right? So as we see Yume Star trying to push forward here, they're in this chokehold, and there's a lot of players respawning really quickly from Squidbucks, so they have to be really careful about their positioning and when they're going to push forward on it.
Yeah, this is kind of the danger point. You kind of want to dive forward as far as possible once you start hitting that pressure, and then just hope you have the manpower left over to repop it and grab it and go again. As we see a player did just there and push it all the way to 1. Absolutely beautiful example of how to play that choke.
Really, really lovely. And they had all their specials out too. The bubbles came out, the stingray came out, both of those able to kind of provide cover for the player to keep pushing that Rainmaker.
And the jet there was pulling some beautiful attention. Squidbucks was focusing a little bit too much on that door and missed that player pushing all the way to 1. It was absolutely fantastic, but that really does put the pressure here on Squidbucks. They're going to have about a minute and a half here to try to push this all the way forward, and with a little bit of a staggered re-entry here, they're just burning time. Yume Star can kind of just sit pretty and waste as much time as they want.
Yeah, they're also not really, they seem to be kind of popping their specials the moment they get them and maybe not really holding them for a coordinated push. Looks like we might have something start to come out right now, but they don't have anything available to support them as they move forward, and they need to take out as many players of Yume Star as they can.
That's the problem here with Yume Star. They already have 3 specials. They're already working on another push. Squidbucks is really on the back foot here, trying to just get some leverage to work out of, and struggling with it. Yume Star is just pulling the Rainmaker and using it as the dominant weapon that it is in order to waste as much time as possible.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And I mean, that Rainmaker holder can really waste some time, as we saw earlier, and especially if they continue with pressure like this. Like you said earlier, playing that choke point, how well they did of distracting with that jet, too.
Yeah, and the fun thing about that choke point too is that it's not just optimal from a pushing standpoint to hold the Rainmaker if you're trying to waste some time, but to hold it in that choke, it's really hard for Squidbucks to approach you effectively to be able to take you out. So they can just sit here and put on pressure and just make it almost impossible for Squidbucks to move into mid and just burn through. It's fine.
Absolutely can. This is going to be the final opportunity for Squidbucks to be able to move forward here. They were able to pop the Rainmaker, but there's so much purple ink coming down here that they just don't have enough time to pick it up and do anything. So that will be the game with a 1. 1. They got it down to 1.
Well, that was a beautiful match from Yume Star, honestly. They took advantage of the push when they had it to get the points that they needed, and then from there, took advantage of the stall power that the Rainmaker has, especially on that choke. It was fantastically played.
It was. And at the end there, I did notice Lumia, and I've seen them play often, so I understand now sort of a little bit of what we're dealing with Yume Star, and I'm really excited to see them play Clan Blitz, because if we get some more of the pressure that they put on in Rainmaker in this Clan Blitz map, it can be a really solid game.
Absolutely. And I mean, especially on Mako Mart clams, this is one of those that's incredibly, incredibly volatile. The baskets are so close together and this map is so small and mid with a lot of clam spawns. So it makes it really easy for this to swing incredibly quickly from one way to the other, especially after a push. You have to be incredibly careful not to full wipe here, or you just completely get demolished and locked out.
That is my favorite thing about this map, actually, because they're close together. I feel like it's more balanced than any of the other closer together maps. And, you know, you're a Clan Blitz fan too, so I'm curious, is it one of your favorites to play?
It kind of depends on the team I'm playing into. Teams that have a bit of a longer setup, that play a little bit more of that mid or long range, I love playing Clan Blitz here against them. It's really fun. But teams that are very monkey, you know, like that move really quickly and are very aggressive, those teams are horrible to play on Mako Mart against, because they swing that momentum so quickly that it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see what you're talking about. And I'm sure they're constantly going to be sharking, popping up, lots of different flanks going on that you have to pay attention to. And this map offers that to players too. There's so many opportunities to be able to move in different directions here.
Yeah, this map also favors a lot of weapons that can be harder to play against, things like tri-sloshers or blasters. Not that I expect to see any of those here, the meta kind of leans away from those, but we are going to be seeing a Junior and a Bamboo coming out on one side, a K52 on the other side, and not to mention the Splash-O-Matic. So a lot of really strong paint on the side of Yume Star.
I really like that. I think having the range on Yume Star is going to be super helpful for them because maybe they can just find a way to hold down some cover there. As we saw in the last game, it didn't look like Squidbucks was able to maneuver as well as Yume Star was. So if they can use that bamboo to sort of provide that little bit extra range, maybe keep them further back, it might assist with getting some more clams in order to break the basket.
Absolutely. I mean, so far we're just seeing a bit of the back and forth that this map is kind of known for. It takes a little bit until someone gets the upper hand to be able to open that basket. We do see Squidbucks here, the first clam in, and quite a bit more on the rest of the team. If they can get some more of these points in, they'll be sitting in a really good position regardless if they wipe.
Absolutely. And I think that they kind of are there. 54 is really lovely. It's going to be a little bit of a penalty that they'll have to work off for their next break, but it's really nice to be able to pull that very early in the game.
Sure. I'm fortunate Astra going down there did pull the full wipe. I could have gotten a few more clams in there just to stall this out a little bit longer. But it does look like Yume Star are getting their clam up. They aren't even holding that pity clam. Just 18 clams between the members on the team. So they're doing a fantastic job with that clam economy and already getting their football in to open that basket and get a push off.
Very nice job right there. And I don't know if they weren't sort of paying attention because those this ways popped up of like, hey, I'm over here. So whether it was just for fun or not, but it did take them a little bit of time to get over there, but it didn't matter because they did get the lead at 44. So that was a really nice reverse play from them after the other basket. What you were talking about, how it's easy to go back and forth on this too.
Yeah, and we're seeing it here again. We're back in control on Yume Star. Squidbucks getting a beautiful double there with those bubbles. Gonna re-swing that mid control back all the way over. And if they can get the clams here, they have 22 in possession right now. That's gonna be a hefty push here for Yume Star to contest against.
It really is, and especially because that's like very few. Now they're at 26, so if they can get both of the power clams that they have in there, ooh, hi, Commentators curse, huh? That would have taken that penalty off.
Yeah, I mean, they're still not that far away. There's still 2 minutes left in this game, and a lot of clams in the hands of Squidbucks. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw their basket open here in a second, and the specials are going to be coming up just momentarily. The ball in, and this is going to be a hefty push for Squidbucks.
It absolutely is. They are able to push in and take that lead down to 20. Really, really nice job. I'm not so sure. Nope, that was a wipe. I'm not sure Astro is going to be able to get out of there and unable to do so, but they're getting into position rather quickly to be able to defend what's going to be another push that's coming out from Yume Star very, very soon.
Yeah, what makes me a little bit nervous here is seeing some of the players of Squidbucks going a little bit fast. They're trying to take control back from Yume Star before Yume Star has the chance to push. And this is kind of the dangerous point. If all of your teammates aren't on point with that, you can run into a kind of feed situation. We're seeing here already enough clams to be able to close this out. If Yume Star, Yume Star was able to clutch that. Squidbucks not quite able to stop that push in time, taking advantage of that snipe area. They did a fantastic job.
Really, really nice job. I'm super excited to see how they go on in the tournament. Obviously, now that I recognize some of these names, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I recognize a lot of the names on the other side too. So I think it's going to be fun to see what happens next. I believe we are play all 3.
We are, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, it's been a little while, so I apologize. But
I played at West last week, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, so one of my favorite things about tournaments like these is, any tournament really, is just going in without any expectations to be able to find people at your level to be able to scrim them later. And I think this is one of those good opportunities. Yume Star and Squidbucks are pretty evenly matched. The matches are very back and forth, and I think the difference between them happens to be like that momentum or that initial pick, who gets that ball rolling first. So these 2 teams, I hope they message each other after to scrim, because this would be a fantastic group to be able to practice against.
That's a really great reminder too. Like, don't be afraid to message a team, even if you go 2-1 against them or something, because they're going to help get you better, even if you scrim and you lose every single one of them because your maps are not in your favor, or you're trying new weapons or experimenting with maybe a different comp that doesn't include the same weapons as everyone's playing.
Yeah, that's always my favorite part, is just you find in tournament the people that you struggle against, and even if those, especially if those matches feel close but you couldn't quite get those wins, those are the teams I love to scrim, because those are the teams that are you're just almost at that level, or there's just something that's a little bit wrong. Those are the teams that are going to be the best ones to fight later.
I would kind of really like to see some scrims from these teams too.
Right?
Yeah.
But that said, we're going into zones on Starfish, which is not my favorite zones map, but it's not bad.
I think after they kind of revised it or made those changes, it got a little better. It just feels so far away to me. The zone is so far from spawn that if you all go down in zone, you're losing the lead, regardless of where you're at. There's just no opportunity for you to push forward. So you have to be so careful about your positioning, just sort of like what happened there, right? Mars was able to take out 2 players. They are targeted by that bamboo, so they have to be really careful. And we have a jump coming into mid there, but they're kind of in a good position to help take this, yes.
Yeah, it was a beautiful double from Mars, and honestly the stall there as well. Yeah, but that's the problem with this map, is that if you're not careful and you all go down, you have to give up so much ground, and the other team can take so much ground so quickly. It makes it very difficult to get in, especially without a couple specials. So it's very swing, and then moving uphill is always a challenge in this game. So it's interesting to see how quickly Yume Star swung that back. Squidbucks just wasn't quite in position to be able to cement that hold. That said, beautiful flank here from Mars, and a teammate hopefully able to get a little bit more going here, and can hopefully pull this back around with a beautiful cap.
Yes, I was a little confused as what they were sort of both doing over there at the same time. But it seemed to work in their favor. They were able to at least neutralize it, put another penalty onto Yume Star, which is kind of what they need right now. They need to hold this as long as they can and build up those penalties. So even if it does go back to Yume Star, if they can just keep putting time on for them, that would be really beneficial. I think they're having a tough time keeping paint on there too, maybe because they don't quite have their most paintable weapons in mid all the time.
Yeah, my bet would be that it's players like Logan here with this Jet Sculpture. They're the ones we need to see move up a bit. Once we have that dominant hold, you take players like Logan and you move them up so their area of effectiveness is further forward, and you can help keep people away from zone. Kind of the positions that Squidbucks is taking here are a little bit more conservative, which is allowing Yume Star to move back right on up and take the zone back without having to contest too much.
Very, very true. And I think some of it comes from being able to rely that your teammates are going to take out that bamboo, right? Because of reason that the Jet was staying so far back, then they get picked off from the bamboo because the moment they're in range. But if you can rely that you have Astra coming around the side to be able to take them out, then you can push far forward and feel more confident in making some of those moves.
Absolutely. A beautiful bubble cap there from Astra, using those bubbles to pop and paint and put some pressure on the members of Yume Star. And this is the moment of truth here. We need to see a little bit more forward aggression and a little bit more pressure coming on from this front line. It looks like we have 3 players guarding the front of this zone, which is exactly what we need to see for a solid hold.
Very, very true. I like that Mars has moved a little far forward, but I really want to see some more specials build. Build up those specials, have them ready to defend that zone, and obviously missiles are going to help, but they didn't quite do enough there. I think that if they had more specials online, maybe they would have been able to hold it a little bit longer. Obviously, they don't want any of their players to go down too, because that's going to be tough for them, but they're not so far away from evening this up a little bit right now.
Yeah, the important part is going to be having those specials on hand to be able to cap this, taking out the members of Yume Star before they get their specials online, especially now we're so close to lead. Squidbucks really just needs to hold this for a little bit longer, and here comes the bomb rush in from Lumina, pulling that out on zone, and is maybe going to be able to cap this. Beautiful fight here from Squidbucks, though.
Really, really nice job. I think they're backing off a little too much. I don't know, like, kind of what happened there, but they're doing a really nice job keeping Ink on the zone while still going for some of these picks that they can. They had armor that came out at a really good time, too, so that assisted them, but they weren't quite able to do it as much as they needed to.
Yeah, and the real benefit there was those bubbles coming out from Yume Star taking the members of Squidbucks and forcing them to back up to give up that pay on zone. It was beautiful. But that said, Yume Star going a few too many down, gonna have to back up and reset a little bit here, and Squidbucks is gonna have another run at this lead.
They're getting really close to, I think that there we go. I was like, I think that we're just waiting for one more special and then they're going to push in. And here they come. Those bubbles are coming out, using the map to the advantage in order to help use that for some cover. Very, very nice job. And knowing where the players are hiding, too, after seeing them over and over again.
They did a fantastic job there, but Squidbucks did get lead, so we are going to have an overtime here. Squidbucks just had to take control of that zone long enough for it to be able to hold, and this is going to be the danger. The bubbles coming out and getting that instant cap on zone. Squidbucks pulling that final game out.
Oh. Those bubbles came out 1 second later, they wouldn't have had it because all that purple that's in the middle of the map.
Yup. Yeah, they did a fantastic job there for sure. Blue putting in some work with those bubbles on Yume Star and Astra on the other side. They both did a fantastic job, those squeezer players.
Really, really nice.
Yeah.
It was a really fun set to watch, too.
Right. And honestly, Yume Star and Squidbucks, if y'all are listening, get into DMs. Get into DMs, do some scrims. Y'all are very evenly matched, and it looks like you could really help each other grow.
Agreed. So that being said, I believe we've reached a point where we can do some shilling here. And, right? Might as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple things that we want to let you know about. So if you'd like to support IPL, which of course we all want to, please consider joining the Patreon, exclamation Patreon in the chat. Obviously, you want to support this fantastic organization that brings you all of these bi-weekly tournaments and a lot of great majors. Speaking of which, Super Jump 2 is coming up very soon. It's a major for all players with a large prize pool, 2 waves of competition, and a quality live stream. It features 2-day format with multiple 2-day brackets, so everyone will find close matches like we've seen tonight to their skill level. And it's all going down July 23rd and 24th. So check that out in the chat as well. I'm not sure what the command is, but if you want to sign up directly, start.dgg/SJ2.
That one I definitely recommend. It's going to be fun. It's going to be super fun. Just the scope of the tournament itself, majors, especially online majors, are always a blast. And they're the best place to find people to play against at your level. 100%. Yes. So I always recommend playing in majors when they come around if you can.
Are you playing?
I am. My team, so I have a couple members of my actual team who are away that weekend. So the ones of us who are remaining are just going to grab a couple people to sub in, and we're going to play as a pseudo pickup.
Cool. That'll be really fun to watch too.
Yeah.
So there y'all go. If you need another reason to watch, even if you're not going to play and you just want to tune into the stream, definitely do that. Then you can watch Lily play. Which is
right, and that'll be fun. Yeah, always fun to watch me play. I'm pretty awesome.
You are very awesome. We need to grab that soundbite, clip it, record it, whatever.
No. I'm going to delete the stream after so that no one gets to know. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it'll be a treat. There'll be a lot of big teams playing, I'm sure. There always is. And then on top of that, you always run into some new people to keep an eye on, right? It's just... Majors are fun, no matter what. So I always recommend signing up for them if you can. And if you're looking for teammates, now's the best time to go looking. I'm sure IPL has a channel in their server to try to find teammates for that as well. So if you're just trying to find someone to play with, I recommend hopping over to the server and seeing if anyone wants to sign up with you.
Definitely worth it. Make sure you check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. And while we wait for our next game, I have a very important question for you, Melissa.
Okay.
If you could be a noodle or a pasta, what kind of noodle would you be?
Okay, so like the dish or the actual individual, like...
The individual ones. Yeah. Like not the dish, like the The little noodle.
The shape of noodle.
Yeah. What shape of noodle would you?
And are you talking like, rigatoni versus spaghetti versus linguine, or like ramen versus rice noodle? Okay.
Like I would be the shell pasta. The little shell ones are really
the
cute.
tiny ones, or
Well, no, they're the good sized ones. I like making them with mac and cheese because then you get like the mac and cheese gets in there, the cheese gets in there, and then you just eat them. It's just like little balls.
Annie's. Do you have Annie's mac and chease?
We do, yeah.
They have a white cheddar.
They don't really take prevalence over here. Yeah, Kraft Dinner takes a bit of a win here in Canada, but
understandable. Annie's makes really, really good shell mac and cheese with white cheddar, and it's fantastic. It's my favorite, and now I want it.
But what would you be if you were a noodle?
I was trying to distract you from that.
I know. You don't get to. It's very important.
I think I would be. I have the dish. I know what dish I would be.
I mean, that's fine. Tell me what dish.
I would be linguine with white clam sauce.
Okay, so you're still linguine though. You're a linguine noodle.
Yeah, but if I get to choose like how I want that white clam sauce, like what I want it over, I think I would go with like the swirly kinds that are hollow. You know?
Yeah.
So like not rigatoni is like the straight ones, right? And not the regular squiggles where it's like a flat piece that someone's made a corkscrew, but like the kind that's like a tube noodle and then it's swirly.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah. And what about you, chat? Anyone in chat wants to chime in? Tell us what kind of noodles you would be. We already say an elbow. Nice. Love the elbows.
Elbows are good. Good. Yeah, the shell version of Annie's, right? Air sign, delicious, so good. I'm telling you, Lily, you have to try them if you see them.
I'll keep an eye out.
And their gluten-free pasta is like very, very good too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I recommend.
Very nice.
So, but we are now gonna swap from noodles to tea. Matcha versus Intimidation Factor is coming up next too.
I mean, that's pretty good too. I don't know if it's as good as pasta, but if we have to talk about the actual game we're playing, then I guess we can. I guess.
Especially because we get to see another Clamblitz game coming in here, so
okay, but that's better.
Happy.
Yeah. But first we have to see Tower Control Sturgeon Shipyard.
Yeah. That's true.
Which, it's grown on me. And TC Sturgeon wasn't always one of my favorites, but it's really grown on me. Mostly because our E-leader has found some funny places to sit and make the other team's life very difficult. It's fun. And another one of my teammates has picked up Luna Blasters. It's just...
yeah. Okay.
It's strange, but we're going to see some interesting things here. A roller on each side when playing the Kensa roller. Very interesting. Okay. Versus a carbon deco. And then also a tent on top of that. Some really interesting comps coming out here.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, is tent meta again for this? Okay, good.
No, not even remotely.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'm loving this. This is fantastic. So, I mean, we're already getting off to a good start. Matcha going 2 down. You have to back up and get ready for that defense while Intimidation Factor moves that tower forward. On this map, that first checkpoint is always kind of a bit of a gimme. So we'll see if they manage to clear it on this first try.
Yeah, once they get through that, though, it sort of moves quickly, and they have more of a problem to be able to go through the second one there because it sits in a spot that's very defendable. They did a nice job, though, clearing that out, even though the tower is resetting now. It looks like they only had 2 that went down during that, too, so that helped them a lot because they were able to maintain some positioning here in order to go back for another push.
Yeah, the Splash-O-Matic doing a fantastic job there with that double. The Tenta Relay is still behind, but this is kind of one of those moments where you just ignore them and go forward and wait for them to move into you and die like they just did. It's one of those things where, like, there's no point pushing into them. They're a Tenebrella, so just let them sit there. It's fine.
Yeah. And right here is fantastic show of being able to push forward like that. Matcha did a really nice job of pushing ahead of the tower, being able to clear out that route, make sure that they felt good about moving it forward, and they're at that second checkpoint, which is very, very long. So they're going to have to hold this for a little while, and they're running into trouble because of this roller here. So we'll see if I think it's going to reset at this point. Yeah, 3 down.
Yeah, that's it. That Splash-O-Matic did a fantastic job getting out of danger there and resetting back to mid. They gave up a little bit more ground than I was entirely comfortable with here, allowing Intimidation Factor to move up pretty quickly with the tower and the beautiful hammer, unfortunately going down. So Matcha might just get another swing here at the mid.
It's that half second between the invincibility moment and being able to actually get that hammer down on the ground that they took advantage of and just took them right out. Really nice job paying attention to timing there too.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job here. Some beautiful pressure coming in. Oh, that was a dirty burst bomb. Lucan is here coming in with the dirtiest burst bomb I've seen in a hot minute. Trying to get a few more in mid, but Matcha with that tank control going to keep them a little bit under pressure. Now 2 down from Intimidation Factor is probably going to give Matcha another run at this second checkpoint. We'll see if they're going to be able to get up quite that far. It looks like Intimidation Factor is a little bit staggered.
Yeah, they have... Oh, they just popped that. I was like, they have some armor available, but I'm not sure, but they popped it anyway. So now we're just going to see if Matcha will be able to get this forward. Not quite. They do take 3 down yet again, which is a really nice job of Intimidation Factor, just clearing them out, trying to protect their zone. They got halfway through that checkpoint. Unfortunately, though, it will reset when they go for it a 3rd try. So we'll see if they'll be able to get there or if we'll have a pushback from Intimidation Factor.
The first thing they need here is a couple really good picks. The roller coming out on that great area, doing a fantastic job pressuring that tower and getting the ink jet. Means 3 down for Intimidation Factor is going to give Matcha back control of that mid area. Intimidation Factor is really struggling getting those pushes going. I think it might just be a little bit of a miscommunication on where people need to be standing to provide the most impact.
Agreed. I think that they're just a little... staggered, or their pressure isn't exactly right. I'm not totally sure what it is, but they are struggling a little bit with it.
That said, they still have a couple more tries. We still have a minute left in this match, and beautiful bubbles coming out here for pressure. While Matcha tries to hit this second checkpoint for a 3rd time. Unfortunately, going to get pushed back into mid because, I mean, honestly, they don't really need to push that hard. They don't need to wipe on these pushes because they have a pretty solid lead so far.
They really do. It's nice what they're doing here, but I think if they can just kind of hold it, maybe what I would do is... not as a player, but as someone who's watched a lot of Splatoon, sort of hold this in mid as long as I can, make sure that it's protected and stall it out. 15 seconds is nothing when you already have this much of a lead, and if you can't get a wipe on the other team, then all that you want to be able to hope for is that they won't get a push to be able to take that lead back.
Absolutely. That said, Intimidation Factor are going to get their push in here, putting on a decent amount of pressure getting in, but what they really need to do here is take a moment to breathe and stall that tower. They're moving a little bit too fast and their members are going down. Unfortunately, going to go completely down, and that is going to be the end of their run.
Very nice job, though. Even that little dance on the tower at the end, you know, they know that they were working against each other, and it showed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things about tower control is I think people forget that even in overtime, you have about 5 seconds from the moment you stop touching tower until it resets and you lose control. So you can take some time to hop on and off tower to stall it in an area that's beneficial for you to try to give you more time for your team to catch up. My favorite place on that map is around the first checkpoint because it's really hard for the opposing team to attack first checkpoint. So if you need to take a moment there to breathe, just hop off tower and keep tapping it just on and off to be able to keep it hovering there and in your control while your team catches up.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice because as we saw there, they moved forward without enough support because probably a little bit of feeding, like that time that clock gets to you and hearing it in your head and in your game sound really can sort of mess with you. So part of that too, but if you can focus and keep your cool, they may have been able to push that a little bit further.
Yeah, and that's honestly one of the biggest differences between like lower level and mid level and high level teams is the amount of composure you can hold getting into really stressful situations. I mean, some of it's mechanics and strategies and being able to like read what's going to happen next, but a lot of it too is just being able to maintain that composure, to take a breath and keep things going.
Very, very true. And I think that's where scrimming helps too, right? Because the more you get used to being able to time things out, then the better you become.
And that's where more tournaments come in too. Super Jump 2.
Yes. Super Jump 2.
That said, moving into Rainmaker Manta Maria. Another one that can be a little bit challenging and an unfortunate DC right there at the beginning. That should be a replay here for Intimidation factor. So I guess we're just going to pop it and run it.
Ooh, 2 DCs. So maybe a lobby issue going on there. Because we had that try and the Brella.
Very unfortunate, but hopefully they can get them back in without too many problems.
Absolutely. I actually love Rainmaker Manta Maria. It's one of my favorites to watch. When I used to play, it was one that I really liked playing too. I love... Both these next 2 maps have something in common, is I love watching people fall in the water, but...
But you can't fall in the water on Manta Maria.
No, but you fall down that hole. I don't know where you go.
That's true.
It's a very deep fall. Probably like the bottom of the boat, maybe, I guess. But yeah, I really like that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I know. It's not really what all the fans were hoping to hear. But, you know, you get some really great moments with it. And... I like the creativity that you have to bring to this map too, right? Because you have to be ready to pay attention to what's going on in the other person's spawn before you even make that push, because there could be so many places that someone is waiting under that block, right under the ridge, if they come up on top of the basket, or what's that, like, what's the technical call out for
honestly,
the net?
My team calls it clams. Like the place where the clam basket is?
No, the place where...
The grates?
Like, right, yeah, the grates. Yeah, thank you. I thought it was a netting. Yes, the grates.
The grates, yes. It might be a netting, but we call it grates. It's fine.
Yeah, I just need to relearn all the terminology. I'm out of practice.
And, I mean, a map like this can pull out some interesting weapons. Like, I mean, the tent we already saw, but we are also seeing, an unfortunate DC again.
Oh, no.
We are seeing the Tri-Slasher come out and then a Sploosh-O-Matic 7 on the other side. So I do wonder if this is a replay. I do believe, according to DC rules, that they only get 1 replay per. So they might have to play this out anyways. It's unfortunate. The tent would have brought them a lot of help here on this map. But that said, it looks like Matcha is already struggling to get in there against the weapons on the side of Intimidation factor. It took them quite a while to break through that.
It really did. And I mean, I think that maybe at the beginning they thought, oh, we're going to run through, and then somehow remembered, hey, we need to play this out. But unfortunately, a lot of members go down there. Oh, nice job, Fletch. Really, really good stop right there. Bringing that Rainmaker out. They have to kind of get Andu.
Oh, no. Oh, no. The Tri-Slasher rounding that corner, having no ink. It's always sad to see. Well, unless you're me and you're playing junior, in which case you love to see it. But I mean, it's sad for them as a player.
Unless you're on the other side of the Tri-Slasher, then you love seeing it.
Listen.
I love it.
Yeah, but that's just unfortunate.
Yeah. And early on, kind of... Oh no, this is not the team that had 5 players. So I was like, maybe they have someone kind of ready in the wings in case there's an internet issue going on. But hopefully they'll be able to get it figured out for the next game too.
And I mean, honestly, having internet issues, they're one of the biggest things that you just can't control, right? So having internet issues can be pretty tilting just because there's nothing you can do about it. It has nothing to do with your gameplay that day or who you're fighting. It's something that you can't fix. Mm-hmm. So... hopefully they can maintain their cool as well and be able to come back for this 3rd game.
I hope so too, because it would be great to see a really balanced clam blitz. That being said, I have a question for you, Lily.
I might have an answer.
What sort of like nice social agreement would you say, at what percentage do players choose to sit out if it's something like this? Is there ever a time when a DC happens and it's a 3v4 and the fourth player on the team that didn't DC chooses to sit out?
Never. Never. Now, more commonly, you'll see like gentlemen's agreements to replay. People are more likely to want to replay a match with the full squad there. People tend to not want to take a game from a DC. That's just, it's not fun, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, unless it's in a scrim or a fun PB in an actual tournament match, I don't know of any teams that would have their fourth sit out to make an even 3v3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the first time I ever played in a DC, I did that in a tournament. And then the rest of the team had to tell me, hey, no, you don't do that. And I'm like, but they only have 3 people. Because when you play Turf War, people tend to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
but
I guess
mean,
on the
obviously,
competitive side, it's a little bit less forgiving. Like I said, gentlemen's agreements often happen to replay, but I don't think I would ever see. I don't think I would ever see a fourth sit out to make an even 3v3.
Food for thought. I'd love to see a team try it, do that. You know, maybe it's a really unbalanced match and
I have seen that before, where it's so incredibly unbalanced that the very strong team, the fourth will just kind of like sit back and paint and not do much unless they're actively pushed. And in fact, I've done that in some Nintendo tournaments. I will just not engage with the enemy team unless they force me to. But that's less like, yeah, I mean, usually when you get to that point, the rest of your team is spawn camping already, so.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just one of those things where it's like, you're not really needed anyways. So, yeah.
Like, hey, we don't need you, so you can just hang out back there by yourself, all alone.
I've had a few games where I've tried to see how close I can get to 100%. That's happened. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. How many specials can you build just by painting your own side?
Honestly, very difficult. In games like those, the rest of your team that's actually actively fighting the enemies will typically get more specials than you will. Just because they're actively fighting the renewable paint as opposed to like painting tiny little corners. So like I found a tiny little box that hadn't had the top of it painted yet. Like that's not really gonna help get you specials.
Me. That would be me.
Sometimes you paint walls for fun and announce to your entire team that you're painting the walls for them. and they tell you you're doing a great job, sweetie. And yeah, you know, it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
I love it. I love it.
That said, it does look like we have all of the members of Intimidation Factor back. If not all 4 of them, then at least a sub coming in here. So hopefully we can get a really good third game in, because I'd love to see these 2 teams go toe-to-toe here.
Me too. Really excited to see for this third game. Clams, too, which I really love a lot. I already mentioned how much I love this map because people fall in the water, but there's a lot more to it. Like, Clams is just really fun to see on this because you have so much space and you have so many opportunities to hide, to go around someone, to go through mid like what's happening right now as Batty goes through and collects a couple of loose clams, or you can choose to go up that top left area too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different avenues here and a lot of different power positions you kind of have to hold in different parts of the game. So right now we see 2 down on the side of Intimidation Factor. Matcha getting ready for a push to come in here. They are going to need, yeah, here comes that ball over the line. Another ball in through Street, getting some fantastic numbers here. And still another 9 clams in the hands of Matcha ready to go into the basket.
Very nice job right there. They keep putting them in too, down to 36 and a couple of 30, and a couple loose ones continue to come in. Looks like we're starting to get a handle on it on Intimidation Factor's side. Oh no, I say that and they break it down to 21.
I think that was an extra player coming in off of their snipe. Very unfortunately, getting those last few in just as Intimidation Factor was starting to think they were safe. So 21 is a devastating push to see in the first minute and a half of the game. That said, Intimidation Factor, this map is fairly small and there's a lot of clams on it. So it's not like they don't have opportunities here to retaliate.
Very true. They do have really good chance to kind of get back here, and I think M is going to be the one to do it. They do crack that basket open, but as a slower weapon, they're not going to be able to face a 2v1 situation there with 2 very fast, very painting weapons. Very painting, yes. Very strong painting weapons.
I still can't believe they dodged that flying roller out of the sky. That was pretty terrifying. I clenched a little bit there, but moving on through here, mid already going 1 down on each side. A ball on one side, but not the other. 25 clams in the hands of Matcha is pretty terrifying, especially with 2 of your players down and 1 not even close to basket.
And that ball is going to jump in. They were kind of camping, but able to make that through and get it in. Very nice job right there. Those are the plays that you are always excited to see. The game goes really quickly there as they were able to come back and get another couple of loose clams in.
Yeah, and as chat says, much fast, very painting.
Very painting. Very painting.
They did a great job there. Yeah, and I mean it's rough for Intimidation Factor. You know, dealing with those DCs, trying to get your momentum back, pulling in a sub. It can be rough to have to deal with that mid set. It can be frustrating. So good on them for coming back through for that 3rd game and playing their best. And hopefully they have a good rest of the event.
Yes, I hope so too. I can't wait to see them continue forward.
Mm-hmm. I mean, fingers crossed we'll see something fun. But coming up for our next match, it does sound from up on high. We do have 2 teams coming in. One I know very well, the other I'm not as familiar with. So we have Smiling Cat Face Emoji versus Acropora. So, gonna be very fun.
I appreciate Smiling Cat Face Emoji. Is that what it is when you type it into your phone?
It's a smile_cat. That's what Discord calls the emoji. But yeah.
Okay.
No. Now, I'll try not to be biased here. Acropora, I know because a teammate of mine helps coach them, and I have a friend on the team as well. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. I won't be biased. I do have some insider knowledge, but I won't be biased. Is essentially it.
Give me your insider knowledge. Let me know kind of what I should be expecting, what I'm going to love here, what I'm going to maybe hate. Tell me all the things. Give me your insider
what you'll
knowledge.
hopefully be seeing is some Bloblobber.
Ooh.
Skep does play Bloblobber and has been playing a little bit of Tri-Slosher lately as well. I don't know how much we'll see of that, but hopefully we'll be seeing some Blob. Mothman, I know, plays some more traditional midline and backline weapons. Jet, we've got some remix, some heavies in there. Always fun. Rush, I believe, is a Zap player. I'm not as familiar with Rush on the team, but hopefully some more paint coming out of Rush. And Devil is fun. Absolute sweetheart and bloodthirsty. So we'll be seeing some fast-moving, fast-killing weapons coming out from that side as well.
Well, very excited to see then. Absolute sweetheart. Yeah, okay. Terrifying. That works. Speaking of terrifying, Piranha Pit, Splat Zones, those 2 zone maps. I don't know. You love it, you said?
I love it.
Yeah? Tell me why.
I don't know. I feel like Piranha Pit is one of those that's a lockout map, but so subtle that people don't know it's a lockout map. And because of that, it can lead to some crimes against squids.
Okay, I can understand that and appreciate that. And I can see how you would be either the squid performing the crime or the one hanging back and continuing to paint, depending on that day.
I would never perform crimes against squids. For legal reasons, I have to tell you, I would never perform crimes against squids.
Legally, but if you were per se to have...
Yeah, so if I were in a situation in which I were given the opportunity to commit crimes against squids, I would.
No legal ramifications here because this is strictly hypothetical here. We're not making any claims.
In this very hypothetical situation, I would definitely do it. Yes. that would potentially happen.
I appreciate you being honest and your honesty there, Lily, so thank you for that.
Listen, and it's not just me, my entire team commits crimes against squids. So I feel like I just you know that rule where you can't get pulled over for speeding if you're following the flow of traffic?
Is that really
if everyone else is speeding, then you're just following the flow of traffic. So it's kind of that thing. Everyone else is committing crimes, so I have to too.
Unless you're a New Yorker around Boston, then you're getting pulled over regardless. So you never want to be out of place. New York and Boston is a scary thing to see. Mm-hmm. But that being said, that Bloblobber, just like you mentioned. Yes.
And we get to see the Hydra coming out from Mothman, as well as on the other team, we get to see a Rapid Deco and the Nozzle Nose coming out. So quite a few interesting weapons in this set.
My favorite weapon and my least favorite weapon on the same team.
Hydra and Bloblobber?
Yep. I have a terrifying fear. I get nightmares about the Hydra. The power that it has to really allow someone to get in a position and just rain ink down on you where you can't hide. You have nowhere to go. I was bullied bad by Hydras when I first started in this game. So...
this is an expose against Hydras. In Melissa's childhood, she got bullied in school. A Hydra was really mean to her, and now she doesn't like them. So,
no.
Acropora, unfortunately, losing that first fight, getting pushed out. Gonna make their way back in here. Some beautiful picks coming out. Already half down on the side of Cat Emoji. And they're gonna have to back all the way up to their back, allowing people like that Hydra that Melissa hates so much to get into very dominant positions here.
And that's the problem. When the Hydra gets into a position where they have control and they have the opportunity to continue to build specials and continue to rain ink down, and it doesn't have to be anywhere close to the action too. That's what's scary. They don't need to be somewhere really close to be able to continue to get fresh paint on something that's already being painted. So terrifying, not what you want to do. Look how far Mothman is able to get that second zone. They're so close to taking them both. They do take them both. And Mothman was all the way back on this ramp.
Yeah, quite terrifying pressure indeed. Devil here already moving up and getting to position. This is what I was talking about, that lockout. It's a pretty lockout heavy map, and people just don't quite think it is because there's more than one avenue in. But if you plant 2 here on the right side and 2 over on the other drop off of the enemy snipe, then you've kind of covered all of the options for entry, and you can do things like Acropora is doing right now with this bomb rush and a push down to 20.
Wow, really, really nice push coming out from them there. And it's still going. I think they're being wise, too, about leading those missiles away. Obviously, the missiles want to try to paint the zone. One does go down, and they are able to neutralize it for a second. No, just the Bloblobber just up in there trying to hang on to this because that penalty is going to be a lot. 72 points, Lily. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, and this is where I say Scap is in trouble, because we've talked about missiles, and they shouldn't be killing their teammates with them. So we're going to have a little bit of conversation after this tournament about not killing your teammates with missiles. That said, Acropora back in the dominance here with 2 down on the side of Cat Emoji, and they're already setting up for yet another very positive lockout here, able to just keep the members back and away from these zones for such a long time.
They really are. I'm very impressed, and I see why you'd be biased here. Not only are they great people and squids, but they're also doing a really nice job in terms of their coordination and I'm assuming their team communication, because it's coming out very nice where their positioning is here too.
Yeah, and Mothman's Hydra doing a fantastic job just being untouchable, except by Skep's missiles, of course. But doing a fantastic job painting that zone from so far away and maintaining that pressure, allowing Devil to do things like that very aggressive push right up into someone's space to take them out. And that said, they're a little far from zone here. Hopefully the rest of the team can come through and paint.
I had to hold my breath for a second there because I was like, they walked away! They walked away!
Right? And you and I as support players are just like, oh, unimaginable. You don't walk away from the zone when there's 5 seconds left.
Never take your eye off the prize when you have less than 10 seconds.
Goodness. Yeah, you just can't.
Nope. Yeah, but really nice job from Acropora there. I loved their weapon choices coming out. I really liked what we saw from Smiling Cat emoji as well. I thought that they had interesting choices. They were doing a nice job when they were able to get into zone, but maybe they didn't have the Hydra. You can't really compete with that unless you have serious range, and I think that was their downfall there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, no one really expects anyone to pull out a Hydra, right? Like that just no one sits there and thinks, "Ah, yes, today I'm going to fight a Hydra." Because it just doesn't happen. So, I feel like we can forgive them for not expecting that Hydra. But now that they know that Acropora has something that long range and powerful in their pockets, I wonder if Smiling Cat emoji is going to pull something out that's a little bit longer range.
Yeah, I would hope so. I think they need an answer to that Hydra. Maybe it's not longer range too. Maybe it's faster.
Could be.
If they have anyone who's pretty good on some dualies, maybe they could have an opportunity to sort of sneak in and maneuver around that Hydra because it's a little slower to move and it's going to be slower to recharge. So if you can get under some of that spray, it could be a way to sort of combat that.
For sure. And it also depends on maps, right? So
yeah.
Going into something like the Reef, if they pull out the Hydra again, that Hydra's going to be wanting to sit top mid. So you can use things like bombs, like missiles, like rain, or even Booyah, to move them out of that power position and keep them on the back foot, right? So it's really important to know the potential places a longer range weapon is going to want to hold, and then make it very uncomfortable for them to sit there.
Agreed. I think you have to be smart about that too, because like you said, I think missiles are perfect, and I'm assuming that's why they're so meta strong right now. But that would be perfect here, because you could also target any players that are in these zones on the left or right, but you're still getting mid regardless of what happens.
Absolutely. And so we do see Mothman switching off that Hydra, unsurprising on this map, to something a little bit more mobile in the Jet Squelcher. But that is still going to be a bit of a challenge, though, as a player on top mid or on the tower if they try to hold it. So already Skep moving right up on into the enemy car, and the players from Acropora are very far forward. I suppose they did pretty much get a wipe.
They absolutely did. I think that was a very early wipe for them to attain to, and now this is why a lot of people dislike this map for many reasons. They're really struggling to get back out of their spawn here. One player continues to go down. They're maintaining this staggered spawn. I think, there we go. I'm like, they need a pick in order to get past Skep, and they are able to do that. 3 down. Very nice job when they coordinated that. They pushed out, and they're coming up towards that bridge now too. It looks like they're just waiting for that tower to reset. Maybe someone might be riding it to move along a little faster. But once they have an opportunity to do so, if they can get a little more paint, it looks like they're readying for a push here.
Yeah, and that's one of the challenges of this map, right? Is once you get into those positions where towers moving up through second checkpoint especially, the players of the enemy team are going to be up in your car, in your spawn, and trying to put that pressure on. And oftentimes that calls for a different approach to get back into mid. Sometimes you want to push out the left instead of the car. You just abandon that car entirely. You know you have 3 people there. Excellent. Let them have it. It's their car now.
Yeah.
And you find a different way out to the tower and to mid. And I mean, yeah, you guys gotta do what you gotta do. But that said, Cat Emoji is doing a fantastic job here getting mid back. It looks like players staggering on either side. So things are just a little bit contentious right now, too, going down on either side at the exact same time, pretty much. So neither team really has the upper hand here.
Except that there are no checkpoints left for Acropora. So if they're able to get that tower back forward again, they have a very smooth ride to kind of dunk that out, which worries me a little bit for Smiling Cat Emoji. I think that they're doing a nice job in terms of keeping pressure on when they need to get out of spawn, but they're struggling to paint up, and I think that that's part of what's going on with them not being able to push.
Absolutely. With a team like Acropora that has a decent amount of paint power in the end zap, in the Bloblobber, you kind of really have to suppress them with that. And with the continuous flanks coming out and the aggressive pressure Acropora is bringing as well, you really have to make sure you paint those sides, that you don't have things like flanks like Devil coming in here to put pressure on the tower when you don't want them to.
Sorry, that ball was very well timed.
Yes.
Ooh, and Devil unfortunately does go down as they looks like they were able to take them out, but a little bit of an assist from Snoo there. And finally, we have some really nice purple ink pushed pretty far up here. King Bob doing what they can to make sure that they are holding down this area for the rest of the team to push forward. I don't know who is paying attention to that left side, though. All they need are a couple of blobs to come in there. Oh, this rain is going to hurt, too.
Yeah, unfortunately going to force the members of Smiling Cat Emoji off the tower there for a second, but they are still able to clear, which puts them in a good position to try and get this lead. They are going to have to dish that tower for a little bit while this Ray comes through, but hopefully they keep enough ground here to keep going. The Booyah putting on a lot of pressure as well, and it looks like Acropora have reversed this tower direction.
Very nice job from Acroporas. They did a great job clearing it out. They did a good job coming back in and breaking that hold that Smiling Cat Emoji had there. Another of their team members does go down here, so it looks like that might be a little more of a challenge until they're ready to push forward. But with 52 seconds left and 14, they really don't need to push that far.
Yeah, honestly, they have all the checkpoints they need. Really, they just to clear that final checkpoint to be able to touch lead. So if they can just push tower up there, work it, inch it forward through this next 30 seconds, and then try to do as little as possible of this in overtime as they can, would be the ideal situation. But it does look like Cat Emoji is having a hard time here getting the foothold they need in mid to inch that tower forward.
Yes, I completely agree. I think they're doing everything they can to kind of break this out, and unfortunately they just don't have the paint on the ground. There's so much yellow here. There's a little more purple that's coming out every so often, but without getting these picks off, they're not going to be able to move that tower. They have a couple of one special ready to go, but there are 2 specials on the other side, including a Ray. I think they're going to have some trouble unless they can take out that Jet Squelcher.
It does look like the members of Acropora did it exactly what I was expecting there. Devil throwing that Booyah Bomb on tower and racing towards it to take it just as the members got off. So, very good play from Acropora. It looks like Cat Emoji's just struggling to get that paint and coordination that they need.
Very much so. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do on this final one, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Really nice job for them going in there as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, now we're going into one of the most volatile map mode combos in the game, Rainmaker Blackbelly. Do you remember, Melissa, when Rainmaker Blackbelly was illegal and people would laugh at you if you put it in tournaments?
Yes.
And then Ink TV said, but we want to?
Yes.
And now it's a standard map that everyone plays?
Yes, I do. There was a lot of trauma that went into that, too. And I remember a couple of BNS nights where we had to rationalize this map and come up with really good reasons and then be told, no, we just want it. Good commentary practice there.
Yeah. We just want it.
I do enjoy watching it, though, but, this for the same reason that I enjoy watching when players fall into the water, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a train wreck.
You want to watch a train wreck, and
Yeah.
and that's what I love, and it's so much fun. And something sort of interesting looking at these, I know they weren't all zones, but all 3 of them are dual zone maps, meaning all 3 of them are set up to kind of be played in similar mechanical styles of when you want to not be in mid all the time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're gonna have some fun with this, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what we get. I wonder, no Hydra, that's too slow.
No, I am kind of betting that we'll see the Ray Jet Squelcher, just because Stingray is pretty powerful here, and Rainmaker.
Yes,
but I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see. We will see Hydra. Maybe.
No, it's okay. We don't need to. That's okay.
I mean, it looks like we're seeing just about the same composition as last game, which is unsurprising, really. But I guess we'll see how differently this plays out. This map is a little bit less paint dependent than the last one, so that might swing in Katamoji's favor if they can get a little bit more coordination and pick off the members of Acropora before they can get too set up.
Yes, I agree. I think that's going to be key here. They need to remain coordinated. It's sort of like a camp out going on right now. Like, Zaya and Snoo were over on that side just kind of waiting to see what would happen there. And I think that's sort of a good play because they wanted to see, all right, are they going to push forward? Are they going to do anything? They do pick up the Rainmaker maybe a little earlier than I would have anticipated because they don't have much purple paint ahead of them. One player did push up, and there's so many people down on Acropora, though. That really nice, 51 is not huge, but I think that was a really nice job for a push so far.
Yeah, it's a good start. The fun thing about this map is you honestly don't need too much to get started. The way the map is laid out, the Rainmaker itself can put on a lot of pressure in different areas, and I have to stop now because I don't really like this.
I don't like this.
See if they can get through this choke. The problem with pushing left is it's so easy to stall out in that enemy pipe. That said, it just looked like they managed to push up way past it. But it always makes me nervous when I see people do that. It can lead to a very long period of time spent sitting in that pipe with nowhere to go.
Yeah. And the other team is just respawning, getting ready to take you out. Flank around, come from behind. Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes it works. Like we just saw, they managed to get through that pipe pretty okay and push to 40, which isn't a super strong point on this map, but it's still nothing terrible, right? It's just, I just always get nervous.
Mm-hmm. No,
are we about to spend 2 minutes in this pipe?
Just waiting for something to happen. I could see that. Yeah, that sounds like a Clan Blitz match too. But really, I don't know. I'm like hesitant to say that the left side is not where they should go because nobody is really utilizing that right now. We keep having Smiling Cat Emoji go straight for mid, and they're going up that right-hand side when they get across. They get faster points going that way, yes, and they're able to cover a little more ground, but they're being stalled out every time. Maybe they need to take a page out of Acropora's book and go up that pipe, see if they can get that same kind of sweet spot and slip right through.
What my team has started doing is actually hovering mid. The idea being that if you hover mid, you can pull left, right, or center on a moment's notice, depending on where the enemy team is stacking their defense, or where a lucky pick might pop up. So if you just hover that mid area and push up a little bit forward and see how it goes. But Acropora here seems to be just rushing down this right-hand side, taking beautiful advantage of an opening that they saw and pushing all the way to 7. Now that is a dominant push on this map.
Yes, that is very, very strong here. I've seen this map go down to like 1s and 2s.
Yes.
And that's sort of terrifying, but completely possible. 7, it's going to take a lot to get under that 7, especially with what we've seen so far from Smiling Cat Emoji and Acropora in terms of how they're able to apply pressure to one another in opportune situations.
Yeah, essentially anything sub 15 is typically considered dominant on this map. As long as it's 15 and under, you're kind of in a pretty good position where you don't have to worry too much. Anything above that, and I'm still a little bit stressed out every time someone picks up the Rainmaker.
feel that. I understand that. I mean, even on this map in general, you have a little bit of stress going into it, but the moment that you get something like that, you need to be careful. Speaking of careful, it looks like they did decide to go up that pipe again, and they didn't need to go that far because they already have that 7, but it was defended this time. Smiling Cat emoji is learning that they are using that pipe and to be aware of that. We'll see if they get anywhere going up this our current right-hand side here and straight forward. They don't have any specials that are going to be able to defend this push, so they're going to heavily rely on the ink that Rainmaker can push down and some of those walls. But
this is kind of the other side of that dangerous left side push, where if you push it down that left side, you kind of set up the enemy team for a perfect push up into the right side, which is the best way to get points on this map. So they did kind of set up Smiling Cat emoji for that push. Very fortunately, we were able to pull that back through before they got too far forward and pick them off. And now Cat emoji getting into a dangerous position here. I think they just moved a little bit too slow on that push that they were given. The members were, I think, just a little bit too scared to push on up. So, unfortunately, weren't able to capitalize. But, I mean, really, very well played. It feels just like Acropora was a little bit quicker to capitalize on openings, you know?
Agreed, yeah. And I think they had a good reason to be scared. I mean, Acropora has been doing a fantastic job of sort of like...
Acropora played Hydra. Like, why else wouldn't you be scared? That's the only reason you need.
The stuff of nightmares, I am telling you. The stuff of nightmares.
The only Hydra we want to see in here is Devi, of course Mothman, and the when you get hydrated, you know? Drink some water, so.
Hydrated. Yeah, yeah. Make sure you're staying hydrated and drink lots of water.
Especially in the summer months when it gets warm, make sure to stay hydrated. Very important.
Yeah. If you go outside, come in, have a bottle or glass of water. Make sure that you are drinking as much as you can here, too.
And even if you're just sitting around at home, if you're not feeling that great, you're not sure why you're not feeling that great, have a drink of water.
Yeah.
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 That being said, I need some water. Jeez. We're going to go ahead and shout some things out and then go over to a break for a few. Remember that Patreon, it's there, it's supportable, you should support it. IPL puts on fantastic events, !Patreon. They also have staff applications open, so if you're looking to join a fantastic team, they are always looking for production and commentary teams. If you're interested in helping out, please fill out the form, !Help Us, and you can fill out multiple forms if you have multiple desires to work on different things.
Yeah, and that's not just a command in chat, it's also a call for help. Please help them. Please.
Yeah.
And on top of that, if you're looking for something else to play in, you're like, yeah, I'm really liking this competitive thing, whatever that is, and I'd love to play in a major. I wonder if there's a place where we can play a major. Well, luckily for you, there's something coming up here on July 23rd and 24th. They're hosting Super Jump 2. The second one is, like, if his Super Jump was so good, why didn't you make a second one? Well, they did. So I've got a large prize pool, 2 waves of competition, and an amazing live stream. Always an amazing live stream. So you can just head on over July 23rd and 24th and play that. If you go to start.gg/SJ2, you can learn more and register. And just please sign up. Please sign up for Super Jump. It's very good. There's brackets for everyone. It's a 2-day event. It's going to be fantastic. A great show, a great competition, and you'll have fun. I promise. I have my fingers crossed. Anything I say, I think you can't legally hold IPL to, but you'll have fun. I promise.
Oh yeah, I think that you can legally hold them too. You'll have fun.
Yeah,
because you're playing Splatoon. Your favorite game. You're gonna have fun.
Yeah. But for now, I think we're going to head off to a short break while we wait for bracket to start, and we'll see you very soon. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Swim or Sink 74. And we're into Top Cut now with the Great White Bracket. That is the Top Cut bracket for the entire event. I am, of course, the Splatoon Lily, and I am here as well with the one, the only, Melissa Acid Sunshine. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Lily. Welcome back. I'm very excited for a great white bracket. We'll see if we get a shark attack tonight.
We can hope. I hope you hydrated while we were away on break there, Melissa and everyone else. I hope everyone went and got a nice sip, and yeah, we're going right in with some really interesting teams, aren't we?
Very interesting teams. Yeah, I'm really excited to kind of see them. I love the suspicious logo with the moving eyeballs. That's great. But that caught me off guard. But also, I really
good move.
I know. It's so good. It's so good. I appreciate that so much. But I also really appreciate Humpback Pump Track clams. And I know it's controversial, but I love this map. This mode.
Is it controversial? I mean, it's strange. People consider some clams maps viable and some not. And for some reason, people consider this one viable. And I don't entirely disagree and don't entirely agree, you know?
Take it or leave it is what you're saying?
Yeah, like, if I had to pick a Clam Blitz map to play, I would definitely play this one. I would be my first choice. The biggest challenge really just being how hard it is to defend a push. The enemy team can easily pop some specials under your basket and easily put some things to work really well in that mid area. It can make it incredibly difficult to stop a push once it gets going. But that said, these teams are already getting going with some fairly standard comps aside from those Tetras.
I love how you stopped like those Tetras. Like, really? Is that what we're seeing? I adore Tetras. I know they fell out of favor a little while ago, and a lot of people are really not super happy with them. But I think they can be a lot of fun, especially when utilized in a way that really makes sense for the map. So I'm hoping that we see that come out. That being said, we do have two specials up on Suspicious. We get that Inkjet in the air, which is going to allow for some nice cover under this basket if the Inkjet can maintain themselves alive. And the push is coming from an interesting side there, but they do get it in, so that's nice.
Yeah, a right elbow is a great way to send your secondary clam, but very interesting to try to send your primary clam in there to open the basket with. I mean, definitely not a wrong play by any means, just not the first one you would expect, I guess. Said, they did get a few clams in there beyond that football and managed to control still quite a bit of mid with 3 players down on Wisp. So if they can get some clams here pretty quickly, which is a challenge on this map, then we should be able to see another push coming in before Wisp can get too set up.
Agreed. I think that's going to kind of be the goal here, is to, for Wisp to not allow Suspicious to come back in and push a little further forward in order to kind of make that happen. I'm a little worried about their positioning here. Of course, Rally is in a tough spot and getting brought up, but does get some support from behind, which is able to push someone off and using those dualies in the way that they can be, but splashdown cancel is never good.
Yeah, and here we see the real challenge of this map. I had mentioned that one of the challenges is defending, which it is, and we'll see that in just a moment while Wisp respawns and tries to stop this push from snowballing. But the other challenge really is just getting those clam spawns. The clam spawns in mid are very sparse, so the spawns are very spaced out. So you could have the perfect opportunity to push in and have a push going, and there just might not be any clams on the map to help you do it. So you have to wait another cycle to be able to gather that clam economy and try again at a later date.
Very true. You also have to be conscious of picking those up. So one of the strategies that I know some players sort of do is like, oh, I'm not going to pick up all 4 because I don't want to build a power clam. But if you leave one clam, the rest of them will not spawn in that area until all 4 are picked up. So you are limiting yourself in the amount of clams that you're getting too.
Yeah, so I mean, it is still a good strategy to lock those clams, but especially when I'm playing on these maps, I'm very conscious of like when we're about to get a push starting, and I start to unlock those very important pods in mid, especially to be able to get things moving. And there are moments where you can force unlocks in inconvenient places for the enemy to reach that are in your base, and if you unlock those when they're pushing, you can force clam spawns in your own spawn away from where they might be able to reach them, which would stall them even more in mid. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It certainly sounds like it. That being said, as we talk about clam economy, clam containment, right? Cost containment, clam containment, we are seeing kind of a push that, whoa, stopped there. Nice shot, Will Afton. But yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, Suspicious is doing a fantastic job so far. We are seeing those usual troubles for this map mode combo of just trying to get the clams you need to push in when you have those opportunities. It's always going to be a challenge, but they're doing a fantastic job managing that. As you see, they've pushed down to 18, and Wisp hasn't even had a chance to approach the basket. They're still trying to fight for mid control, and we only have 40 seconds left in this match.
Absolutely. I think that we're coming to a point where they need to be really careful about how they're going to hold this down. I mean, we have a power clam on the side of Wisp. If they can reverse this and get back over to the other basket very, very quickly, that will be in their best interest, especially with 2 down. 1 just respawned. You know, now is the time to push forward and get this going. 2 power clams there. There are 4 clams in mid too. I don't know what's holding them back.
Yeah, it feels like they're hesitant, and I'm not entirely sure why. They kind of need this going now before we hit overtime, because you don't want to do too much of this in overtime. It's going to be a massive challenge, and honestly, that stall just really gave Suspicious a chance to set up their defense. So 2 down already on the side of Wisp, and some more clams coming in, but the specials from Suspicious are going to wipe them before they can get too far in.
Absolutely. We saw like a Booyah come out there. I mean, you know, they know at this point, unfortunately, that's going to be game. I think Wisp had the right idea at the end there, but they stalled a little too long, and I don't know what they were waiting for, but definitely an opportunity for the next time they find themselves in that situation to maybe push forward a little bit further, a little bit faster.
And that's really just the challenge of the map. I think they were a little bit afraid because Suspicious kept showing up a little bit of everywhere without. I mean, they were just showing up on all of the flanks and all of the corners of the map. And I think that really just came down to Wisp needing to paint a little bit more solidly, right? They need to get that paint down a little bit more convincingly and a little bit more quickly in order to cement their control and make sure that Suspicious couldn't come out of a vent somewhere on the right side, and they could make sure to get those clams pods as well if they just took that moment to breathe and they didn't have to move as quickly as they thought they did, and then in moving quickly they accidentally stalled themselves out. It's it's the challenge of that map.
Yeah. I see why you have like mixed feelings about it, and why you might feel like, yeah, this will be fine today, and then one day, I don't really feel like dealing today.
Yeah, it's just one of those maps that has potential but is complicated to play. So if you don't entirely grasp it, or if someone's having an off day, or things just aren't quite clicking, then it can turn into a nightmare map to play. Now, that said, this map is never a nightmare map to play. I absolutely love it.
Really?
How do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I like this one too. I was bullied the most on this one by the Hydra, so there's that. But I really appreciate that it has multiple entries to zone. You have an opportunity to defend. You have this tower that really helps if you want to set up on top. You have different ways that you can utilize your specials, maybe unsuspecting, sort of. And I think that that's what makes it really unique. Not only that, but I love the design too. Quintessential Splatoon 2 map right here.
Absolutely. This is kind of one of the ones I'm rooting to come back in the next game. We'll see. We'll see if Ninty gives it to us. But for now, I mean, Suspicious is doing a fantastic job of putting on the pressure. Will up here and Steph just both sitting up on plat in some really sneaky spots to be able to kind of harass the members of Wisp trying to come back in. And Wisp is trying to wait out these specials, but unfortunately not quite getting what they need to move forward, it looks like. A beautiful pick here on the side by a rally with that splashdown, and almost a follow-up with the shots fired. Looks like 2 down on either side. They might be able to cap this just now. They kind of have to cap this now if they don't want this game to end prematurely.
Absolutely. I think they're also sort of getting, like, nobody's kind of coming around rally on that side, but it's only a matter of time until they get found out, and then they have to do that. And I think that that gave up a lot of room there. The entire map is purple at this point. We're really not going to have an opportunity for Wisp to break in through Suspicious's offense right now. Even having someone there, they just don't have enough time to paint around that tower.
Yeah, and that was the challenge there. They kind of needed to cap it then, or they wouldn't get another chance. With how
Mm-hmm.
convincingly Suspicious was holding their plat and keeping them out, we kind of needed them to get that cap or that stall for a little bit longer. But unfortunately, the stagger was just a little bit too strong there, and the members of Suspicious were just able to recover a little bit more quickly. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful played game so far from Suspicious. We're seeing some fantastic team play and some terrifying sus behavior. Oh, what was
Very
hang on?
much
What was I
so.
supposed to say? Tic Tac came in and told me to say something earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Amogus Susibaka. That's what Suspicious is being. An Amogus Susibaka. Yeah. Anyways, Tower Control Ancho.
Good try. Good try.
Also, pretty tasty. You know, I kind of like this one as well.
I do too. When it first came out, I had this like burning hatred for it, but once I
When it first
learned,
came
like,
out in Splatoon 1 or in Splatoon 2?
in Splatoon 2, I never played
Okay.
Splatoon 1. So, in Splatoon 2, I hated it instantly because I didn't know how to move around. I didn't know how to utilize the avenues that were available to me. I was like, what are these fans on the left-hand side? Why does nobody ever use them? What am I doing here? And then it grew on me, and now I actually really like it. And I
Mhm.
especially like watching it because I feel like some players have such a good handle on how to maneuver this map in a way that makes sense that I never could.
Yeah, and especially tower control too. Like, there's a few modes where you can't quite get into office early, which is one of the sneakiest and most terrifying things. Is on tower control when you think you're just fighting them straight on while they're pushing tower, and then all of a sudden someone flanks over here on your left hand side, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I can
And
see
it's even
that.
more terrifying when it's your teammate who plays E leader, who's now somehow doing that flank. Anyways, it doesn't look like we'll be seeing any of that. No one's quite long range enough to scare me as much as an E leader does, but we are going to be seeing a little bit of what we saw last game. Nothing too terribly out of control or unusual coming out of these comps.
Yeah, I appreciate that though. A little bit expected. Maybe something could have been switched up a little bit on Wisp's side in order to keep Suspicious on their toes. I think they're going to have a really tough time just getting out of spawn. All of the pressure that Suspicious has been applying in the other games is going to multiply here because this map can lock you in so quickly.
Yeah, beautiful Booyah there coming out and actually getting a jumper, it looked like, or an inkjet recall, I think. But Seft is here with an inkjet already pushing all the way to spawn, getting a sneaky pick. They're really just putting on that pressure. They're not really letting Wisp step out of their spawn, and just clearing those checkpoints, knocking them down one after another.
And this map has a lot of those checkpoints. They're very fast, and there are two major ones, though, and they were able to clear. This one's going by so quickly. They had a near full wipe on Wisp just now, and Suspicious is able to just move past this very quickly. They dominated that game. They
Yeah.
absolutely took over, took control, and did not let up.
Yeah, that was an absolutely dominating 3-0. Like, sometimes you get a 3-0 and the games are pretty close. It felt here like just Suspicious overwhelmed Wisp entirely, and Wisp couldn't quite get the footing that they needed to be able to pull that back.
Yeah, I agree. Fantastic job by Suspicious, though, and you can see why they've done so well tonight and why they'll continue to do so well in the rest of what we're going to see today. So
Yeah.
that will be a lot of fun.
Well, and I do want to thank them for not making me sit through Clamblitz Sturgeon. Just bless them for
Yeah,
ending this before we got there.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Although Rainmaker Muscle
I do
Forge
like,
would have been
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I do like that one. Yeah, just not the fifth game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I have some complaints. I know we're playing Super Jump Map List for SOS this month. So, Hoen, if you're in chat, we need to talk. hit up my DMs. We'll talk about Clamblet Sturgeon later. But
Listen to Lily. They know their clamblets, okay?
yeah, it's kind of my specialty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just overwhelmed. Suspicious really just knocked that down. They just did a fantastic job in all 3 games. They just overwhelmed Wisp. Yeah.
They did.
It was fantastic.
It was. That being said.
Being said.
I appreciate so much having the chance to commentate with you tonight, Lily. I had so much fun.
I saw the ping and it was like, who wants to commentate with Melissa? And I just slammed my fist on the desk. I was like, IPL, I'm here. I'm ready to go. I was made for this moment. Any chance I get, I just have to. So it was a treat. So, I mean, thank you for IPL for having us tonight. Melissa, if they want to find you after this, where could they find you?
Nowhere. I'm hardly on Twitter. I miss everyone in these communities, and I really miss Splatoon. So feel free to drop a hello in my Discord DMs, or if you see me in a server, tag me and just say hi, because I think that's the fastest way you can get my attention.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out here, because Melissa sometimes does commentary for IPL, so
yeah,
I'll be able to see her there. And then myself, I'm just Splatoon Lily. You can find me at Splatoon Lily on Twitch and Twitter, and you'll see me playing Super Jump in a couple weeks. So if any of y'all are looking for some fun competition, you should head over to start.gg/sj2 to learn more about Super Jump and register so you can fight me.
You absolutely should. Yeah. And don't worry about getting bullied. Lily is not a bully.
No, as we've learned earlier in the stream today, I would never commit crimes against squids.
Never on paper. So, we'll be good for that fantastic weekend that's coming up.
But for now, I think we're going to head to a quick break, and then we're going to hand the commentary off to another fantastic pair of commentators. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and we'll have some more Great White Bracket for you later on tonight.
Enjoy. See y'all next time.
And welcome back to Swimmer Sync 74. Did a little bit of a commentary switch. My name is JPEG, joined by Devin. How you
Hey,
doing, Devin?
how's it going? I'm good. How are you, JPEG?
I'm doing great tonight. I love Wednesday nights because I get the day off, and now I get to chillax and watch some Swimmer Sync. I love watching Swimmer Sync.
Honestly, this do be a favorite. I mean, like,
This do be a favorite.
it is. It's a good Wednesday night tournament. Like, I guess I've got fond memories of the Thursday night BNS tournament, and this is like, I don't know, Wednesday night, Thursday night, same thing.
Got that midweek action. I mean, everything happens on the weekends. Sometimes you gotta dial it back, scale it down a little bit, and enjoy kind of these midweek events.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
Yeah, today we are on round 2 of Great White Bracket, kicking off with Epic Win Girlfriend and Spaghetters. No, Spaghetters. We were debating how to pronounce it. Spaghetters. I don't know why it's like hard to say that, but it is. So
I know. I'm like over here. I'm like over pronunciating it. And I'm like, wait, no, this isn't that complicated.
you're overthinking it. In reference to Havoc Spaghetti, if we were to show the icon again, I'm sure you're well aware
Is that what the
of
icon
that
was?
moment.
No, I need some context here.
You need some context.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll provide you some context. So SAC Season 4 was it Tournament 1. It might have been Tournament 1 or 2.
Okay.
And it was going a little longer than usual. We'll admit it. And Havoc was cooking spaghetti, but he could not tend to it properly because he was in the middle of a really long set. So that's what happened. And now, a couple months later, that is still a relevant image in the Splatoon 2 community, and that is the Havoc lore for you. Spaghetters versus Epic Win Girlfriend, starting us off on Skipper Zones.
I gotta say, I love the EWGF. I love the tag coming out from Epic Win Girlfriend here.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know the players from Epic Win Girlfriend. I do like their name though, so I'm gonna cheer for them based on that alone, and that is not commentary bias at all. Seeing the zone get taken by Spaghetters, that's gonna take forever to get used to. Yeah, just a strong lead and nice pick in the mid by the Slosher. I'm pretty sure that was Havoc. Havoc typically, yep, there he is, playing Slosher.
Yeah, getting a nice aerial view of that Slosher action here. We got a player from Epic Win Girlfriend kind of moving in from the back there. Havoc does unfortunately get taken down in the zone for a nice take back here from Epic Win Girlfriend.
Yeah, Banana making a crucial pick to get that wipe on Epic Win Girlfriend, taking the zone and providing jumps for the Spaghetters. But really, just in the first minute of the game, score's looking pretty even. Both teams just trying to feel each other out a little bit, waiting for Epic Win Girlfriend to kind of get out of spawn. But so far, Spaghetter is doing a good job at suppressing that. They're having a hard time kind of getting that mid area, down the middle column of the map.
For sure, yeah. Spaghetters is definitely keeping a close eye on that. Havoc kind of guarding the top part there, forcing Epic Win Girlfriend just down to that lower route into the zone, which, playing on this map, definitely the least favorite way to get in this zone just because of how open it is, how vulnerable that leaves you to just getting picked off, just like we're seeing right now.
Right, and that was such a crucial time for Epic Win Girlfriend to push. They used all their specials, and they were all just trying to push in, but Spaghetters did such a good job at just finding a good position to not die in, because look, they have no penalty left. The score is counting down. They had to stay alive there. They didn't have to worry about getting picks. They just needed to stay alive to keep that zone in check, and that's what led them to their success here. Taking the first game, Skipper Zones, a little bit of an unorthodox map, but sometimes we like to sprinkle them in here and there just to spice things up a little bit. But yeah, Spaghetters handled it well.
For sure. This might be a hot take here, but what if every map was legal?
Well, we did that once, but we don't really talk about it.
What was that for?
I don't want to talk about it. People don't want to really talk about it. But speaking of the map list, though, we are running the Super Jump 2 map list this month for Swimmer Sync in July. Is it just this one, or is it July in general? I don't remember. It might be July, but we are running the Super Jump 2 map list. So if you want to get some practice on that map list in the tournament in a tournament scenario, then definitely check out the next two SOSs that are happening, and then Super Jump 2 will be after those.
So JPEG, I need a little bit of information here. If I were to want to play in Super Jump 2, when is that? Where would I be able to sign up for this fantastic tournament that's coming up here?
Plugging Super Jump 2 mid-set, technically, but I will tell you, it is on the 23rd, 24th, and you can sign up at start.gg/SG2. But awesome. I digress. Next up, Tower Control Starfish main stage, already getting right into it. What these teams readied up so quickly, so I'm wondering if there are any major comp changes going on here. Nothing standing out. I didn't quite memorize what the last comps were last game, but nothing crazy. Spaghetters is kind of doing what you usually see, and Epic Win Girlfriend, they're keeping that charger. That's really the only thing that stood out to me last game, but we'll see what happens. Tower Control is a much more different mode, so it could benefit them.
Yeah, so before this, we started commentating Ash JPEG, so what even is the meta? You just said shooters, so I'm looking at, I see a charger and a, what is that, a ballpoint out on the side of, or is that a Nautilus?
That is a Nautilus.
Nautilus, okay, cool. Out on the side of Epic Win Girlfriend here, so a little more backline than what sounds like is kind of been in the meta recently.
Yeah, and keep in mind, you're asking a TO who retired from Splatoon 2 in early 2020, but
yeah.
I mean, it's just nothing's unusual here. Maybe a charger, but like even then, you still see them around sometimes. It's just in general, shooters are a lot more popular. But
especially on this map, where you can get up in that perch there and just kind of get picks off in the middle. I mean, like we're seeing right now, Q trying to avoid that charger on the side of Epic Win Girlfriend. I mean, definitely for Starfish. Backline, Tower Control especially on this map. Backline is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, you see backlines a lot more on this map mode. Some maps just lend to better positioning for backline. Some don't. They're a little more open, and it's just better off to play something else. But here we are seeing Spaghetters. I think that's their first checkpoint, miscounted. Finally getting pressed that first checkpoint. They didn't seem really, they don't seem too pressed to push super quickly. But now, about 2 minutes into this game, they're finally kind of starting to get through these checkpoints. 2 down inside of Epic Win Girlfriend, not looking too good. Havoc's in this incredible spot, going to be able to harass that sniper up there, and in turn let that tower move freely.
Yeah, and it did lead him up to that third checkpoint, so clearly this is working out for him. But that unfortunately does look like Spaghetters is mostly pushed back here now, so gonna give Epic Win Girlfriend a chance to hit this tower at least a little bit more. Sorry, a little bit back into a more neutral position here, and maybe get some map control and start getting some points out of it.
Right, and despite all that map control, they're getting mid Havoc here, using the absolute most range he possibly could for the sloshing machine.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the aggression here is absolutely canceling out what Epic Win Girlfriend was working for, trying to paint up that mid. And Spaghetters, just their aggression is just unmatched here. They can just run in and get the picks they need, and nothing's really stopping them. I'm not sure what's making them able to do that so easily, but
yeah, every time we pop into Havoc's view, we just get to see that bucket, and it's just constantly getting picks or applying pressure, and I just love seeing that weapon played like that.
Right, you can see the team coordination here. You saw all 3 Spaghetters there, kind of looking a little terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, it scared me a little. I felt intimidated. But Epic Win Girlfriend just they're just constantly on the defense here. I don't know, it's something about Spaghetters. They're just everywhere. It's all about positioning. I mean, look, no, this overhead shot, it's just they know exactly where they need to be, and they're picking their fights wisely. And that's really all they're.
For sure, the positioning here is just impeccable. Every time we look, it is just the correct amount of pressure on the tower without getting picked off. At least not a lot. We did see that one fantastic pushback from Epic Win Girlfriend, but Spaghetters, they came right back in. They put the correct amount of pressure on and got all the way back up to that third checkpoint pretty much. Does look like tower is going to be making its way back into mid, but Havoc does unfortunately go down there, so this may be Epic Win Girlfriend's last chance to, get some points on the board here and force it into overtime. But it looks like, wow, Spaghetters have already made their way back. The pressure is just amazing.
Yeah, Spaghetters really got into their head. They're playing a little more passively because they just know, like, Havoc or some other person's just going to be in such a strange spot that's going to absolutely cancel out whatever they're trying to plan here. I mean, look at this. They just knew they were going to flank. Like, they have every single, like, square inch of this map covered. Even if it's not painted, they have, like, they're keeping their eye on it. And we have Q here popping one last jet, final 3 seconds of this match, and Spaghetters is going to be on the tower, but are they going to be able to really hold an overtime all the way to 15 points? We'll see.
That switch up on the tower there was clutch. I'm like, that's going to be game. They're going to fall off.
Okay, but 3 down on Spaghetters. It's the chances are so low, but they're finally getting their first proper push of the game within overtime. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, these are the kind of comebacks, though, when they happen, make just such great viewing,
Yeah, and we got Banana probably checking his phone real quick, and we got a Jet over here on. Oh, Jet's wrapping up. Wait, I can't think. What's going on here? Okay, Havoc is in an amazing spot to stop this push, and oh my goodness, down to 24 though.
Oh.
I gotta applaud Epic Win Girlfriend in that last push. Wow.
Yeah, I was watching that like, are they gonna get this? All of a sudden something just turned in the other direction, and all of a sudden, that was a fantastic push, all the way from nothing all the way down to 24.
Yeah, I mean, this is best of 5. We gotta see Epic Win Girlfriend's they gotta play like that all the time,
So this is the beginning of the reverse sweep, right?
Right. This is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
I'm checking my script real quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do we have a script on standby?
Yeah.
Cool.
But tower control is a mode where your team's kind of forced to move with an objective. But next up, tower control, Rainmaker, Snapper Canal, is a map mode where the objective moves as fast as your team can. So with Spaghetter's aggression, I'm a little worried. Epic Win Girlfriend's gonna really have to talk this through, figure it out right now, or else they're out.
See, one thing that I noticed about Epic Win Girlfriend is they did like to definitely bunch together a lot more than Spaghetters did. Spaghetters definitely had the more strategic sort of spread out placing to be able to put that pressure on Epic Win Girlfriend. So on Rainmaker, on Snapper here, especially with how narrow this map is, I'm almost curious if being closer together could benefit Epic Win Girlfriend in a way. Just since, when you have that Rainmaker and you're playing it, as a weapon, do we have Marsh in here? I don't know. Maybe it would be a little beneficial here to be a little closer together. Or maybe that's just my entirely uneducated opinion showing. We shall see.
Yeah, very similar comps here on both teams, and yeah, like you said, I mean, a really underrated part of Splatoon is, oh goodness, we have a DC, don't we? Okay, so we're gonna have to KO this real quick, but while we're waiting on them to KO, I want to add on another really underrated part of Splatoon is just kind of positioning in general. It's just something that's so obvious that no one really talks about it, but I feel like some newer people will benefit from knowing that it's a balancing act. You gotta be close enough to your teammates where you can kind of help them out, but you gotta be far enough where you can support another part of the map, And
for sure,
I feel like new people don't really have that mindset yet of team play, but it's something to keep in mind if you're new to the scene. And there's a lot of new people I've noticed popping up in the scene, so it's good. It's good to see that. I want to help them out.
We're on that pre-Splatoon 3 hype train here a little bit.
Right. We have what? We're
what
5 SOSs? Is it 5? Maybe it's 6. I don't know. We're about 6 SOSs until 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're
it might be 7
months out from release, right? When is it? Right. When's the release date? 9/9?
Yeah, it's whenever Riptide is on.
Cool.
Yeah, 9/9.
9/9.
And we'll be here. We'll be here at Splatoon 3's launch.
We'll be
here.
Funny enough, I'll be there too, JPEG. Are we gonna?
Oh, you will. You will. I'll be there, and our wonderful streamer Vapor streaming tonight. We love
Let's
you.
go.
Everyone here.
This is the three Splatoon 3 gang.
Yes. Anyways, we don't talk about that last one. Did not happen because it didn't. Similar comps from both teams. I don't see why they'd change it because that'd be unethical and probably against the rules. I don't know the SOS rules. You do. Because you read them. Why wouldn't you?
We always read the rules.
We read the rules. But yeah, okay, we didn't see Havoc, but he was doing, his thing. Havoc and Q. I don't want to discredit Q here. He's doing great too.
I love this.
Rainmaker down to 23. I think the aggression is really paying off here on Rainmaker. It's gonna be a real hard win for Epic Win Girlfriend if they don't change up their playstyle right now.
For sure. Yeah, I'm definitely noticing a lot of bunching going on here, and that's I think forget everything I said earlier. That was just wrong.
Hey, you gotta believe, especially after that snipe on Havoc. They knew he was gonna flank.
Yeah,
they're sick and tired of what he's doing to them. They said no.
Yeah, so Spaghetters here, it's just incredible how they know exactly how much pressure to apply and when to back off. Yes, some things, especially as a newer player, you think that you just have to be aggressive all the time and just get as many kills as possible. That's the best way to play the game. But once you get into this a little bit higher level of play, you start seeing the positioning of teams knowing when to be that super aggressive and when to back off and know when numbers count. And it's really showing here for Spaghetters. It's just amazing actually watching this.
Right, yeah. It's easy when you're watching. It's easy to pay attention to the cool, flashy moments, but if you really get down to it, it's important to pay attention to, what are the little things? Like right here, I mean, it's looking like Spaghetters is just kind of backed into a corner, but what they really are doing is bleeding the clock. They have a pretty substantial lead. They're just going to do everything in their power to hold the Rainmaker, because as long as they're holding the Rainmaker, Epic Win Girlfriend isn't. It's just little things like that really, someone just watching and never really playing comp Splatoon wouldn't really notice as easily.
For sure. And that's the thing too, is it looked like Spaghetters was backed into a corner there with that Rainmaker, but you got to remember that Epic Win Girlfriend, as soon as they go to get that Rainmaker without resetting it, they're going to be backed into a corner too.
Right, yeah. It's like a game of 4D chess here in Splatoon, especially with where you leave the Rainmaker. Sometimes you don't have a choice, sometimes you do. And Spaghetters, I think they were definitely intentionally picking that spot. But here it is in mid, really up for grabs for both teams. And it looks like Spaghetters is about to initiate another push here. They're doing such a good job getting that paint control in check.
This map is just so purple.
Right, and that's why you see a lot of shooters these days, because you got that Jet Squelcher. It has the range, it has the anchor. It still functions as the anchor of the team, but it can still paint a ton. But, when it goes down bad. As we can see in this flank by Epic Win Girlfriend. Not really going to do that much yet. They did pick up the Rainmaker. They're going to have to get a lot of paint on the ground and get pretty far into the base of Spaghetters to get a lead here.
For sure. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be taking that same route that Spaghetters have been trying to take earlier to kind of get back up toward that pedestal. Kind of taking this left side of the canal here. It looks like there is going to be a little fight going on between the two teams in this kind of bottom area. And it is going to lead to a couple members of Spaghetters going down. This actually is a great opportunity for Epic Win Girlfriend to possibly get the lead right here. Oh, that splashdown though.
A little too slow. I mean, they respawn quickly. You got to move the second you see maybe 2 or 3 picks up there at the top of your screen. But
it's a 10-point difference now, though, which is a lot better than it was before. There is still plenty of opportunity here.
Yeah, 10 points is pretty manageable. And the Rainmaker is in a okay spot for Epic Win Girlfriend. I mean, Spaghetters here. 1 minute left on the clock. They're going to have to be real smart on where they pick up the Rainmaker. If they do, and leave it 25 points, 2-point difference. But 2 are down on the side of Epic Win Girlfriend. It looks like Spaghetter Yeah, they're seeing it. They see 2 down. They're pushing ahead. They're getting that Rainmaker out of there. Smart play on their part. But that was such a good ending push. If they could try to do that again in the last 20 seconds, it's not likely, but if they can, they might be able to edge a victory here.
I mean, we almost saw it happen last time, so it's not quite yet. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more picks on people. Havoc's going to be pushed back due to the missiles. Not going to do much. Looks like he was going to go here anyways, but yeah, I mean, they're just sitting back. They have their jet. They have their missiles ready, and it's not looking likely. Missiles are on that Rainmaker. That's just one way to stall it out.
And see, this is where we're talking about the positioning coming out from Spaghetters. They're just sitting up here because right now, Epic Win Girlfriend, this is their only realistic route to the pedestal. So they're just kind of sitting up there camping, hanging back, because it doesn't matter what Epic Win Girlfriend does. If they get too close, they're going to get that pick. Or Havoc's just going to go with the Inkjet and get the pick for them. That works too.
Yeah. Either way, close game. Especially on that last game. I mean, Epic Win Girlfriend seems to started to kind of figure out what they're doing, but it just wasn't in enough time. I mean, there's only 5 games in this set, and you got to win them. But one of the most important things I always say to teams is how fast can you adapt to another team. So it's good to see that skill is like there for Epic Win Girlfriend. They gotta just kind of iron that out a little bit.
For sure. And people say this all the time, but going 3-0 doesn't always tell the story. I mean, especially those last 2 games, those were close. Close ones.
Yeah, I love the performance from them. I mean, 3-0's the score. I mean, most people are just gonna think, oh yeah, it was a wipeout.
Yeah.
But we got some really good games there. But yes, we are going to see Spaghetters in finals. Spaghetti, Havoc Spaghetti. We love you.
I didn't know what that was at first. I thought it was like the squid spaghetti, like before.
Oh yeah.
No.
It's just straight up burnt.
Did y'all ever play Cooking Mama when you were younger? Maybe still do.
Oh.
I remember playing it on the Wii, and there was like a recipe you could play on there where you made like the squid ink spaghetti, and this was like what it looked like before you mixed it. Just reminded me of that. It's such a good meme, such a good picture. So, do we know who we're going to be seeing next? Do we have a bracket?
We don't. Next, on the other side of the bracket, we're looking at Good Morning versus Suspicious. Oh, sus?
Like the imposter from the game Among Us?
Like the imposter from Among Us? That's a little sussy.
A little sus.
I have to see that. I think Vapor's trying to stop us from talking about Among Us on the stream. Sorry, guys. Hey, we'll hit some talking points. Hey, Super Jump 2. This is a more appropriate time to talk about it, by the way, Doug.
Yeah.
Super Jump 2 is coming up. I don't know if you've heard, but we're running a major. That's kind of a big deal. July 23rd, start.gg/SJ2. I think the prize pool is at 520. Let me check that out real quick. If it's been updated properly. I told the person to update it. We'll see what happened. No, they didn't. It's at 500. If I said 520, no, I didn't. But yeah, Super Jump 2 coming up. Not running Loink this month. If you are a Loink team, playing this instead because you will still get great practice out of it. I promise. That is a JPEG guarantee. Stop being afraid to sign up for majors. Thank you.
So, JPEG, I actually don't know the answer to this. Are there lower tier brackets here? Are there brackets for all skill levels in Super Jump 2?
There are. There is a bracket for everyone. I think right now we have 5. I think we're planning on making 5. I don't know. I don't staff this one. This is my month off. But yes, I know. All I know is you'll be great. You will find a home here in Super Jump 2, no matter what skill level you are.
Heck yeah.
And we got Riptide coming up too. I think. Do we have that graphic? Yes, we do have that graphic. I love you, Vapor. Hey, Riptide's coming up too. September 9th through 11th. Start.gg/Riptide. This is a LAN in Ohio. So for anyone who believes Ohio is a real place, it is here at the Kalahari Resort, and we have a good time here playing Splatoon 2 and 3 because September 9 is when Splatoon 3 comes out. That's a little awkward, but we're still running a tournament for it anyways.
I love the memes that people are posting about the poor Sandusky Walmart employees on the release date of Splatoon 3. Just start relating to that.
Right. I've met plenty of Splatoon fans at LANs, and let me tell you, I will not want to be a GameStop employee in Sandusky, Ohio on September 9th.
Everyone is going to be getting their copies of Splatoon 3.
I think I'm gonna stick to a download for this one. We'll see what happens.
Gonna have to grab a new SD card here.
Right. But with that, we are waiting for our next match to get ready. It's grand finals, right? It's grand finals. I feel feels like it shouldn't be yet, right?
Hold on, is it?
That's what Vapor put on stream. He wouldn't lie to us, would he? Hey, Suspicious up 2-1 against Good Morning. So we'll see. We'll maybe see him next time. Keep an eye on that bracket. Use the exclamation point bracket command to keep an eye on it, and we'll be right back for SOS action. And welcome back to Swimmer Sync 74 Grand Finals.
Grand Finals here, going to be between Good Morning and Spaghetters. Spaghetters, who we did see with a pretty convincing 3-0 in that last game there. Good Morning here. What can you tell us about Good Morning, Jacob?
Good Morning has been a long-running team, long in the sense of the Splatoon community, made up of some fan favorites: Omega, Keen, Shadowin, Soldier, and Kaden. It's just, I like seeing them. I like seeing them around. I've probably interacted with them like 4 times ever, but all 4 of those times have been wonderful. And of course, Spaghetters, we saw them last game. Havoc, I think that's pronounced Rhines? Banan. Oh, that's Banana Man. And Q. I knew that because I was looking at his Twitter in between the break because he was making some real funny stuff. But yes, best of 7 here in Grand Finals. Starting us off on Tower Control, Manta Maria. And this is quite the map mode to start on because, you're used to like starting off like something like Grand Finals on a Splat Zones map. But no, we are going straight into Tower Control, which might be a little off-putting, Might
not even get some Splat Zones till game, well, not even might. We won't get some Splat Zones till game 4. Actually, that's the only Splat Zones map in this set. I'm looking, wow. It's kind of neat, actually. I like that.
Right, yeah, we're just seeing this. We're just waiting on both teams to ready up. I'm not sure what Good Morning runs, but we saw what Spaghetters was doing was just your typical like Splatoon meta comp, all shooters, but whatever wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. We can analyze the comp all day if we want, but in the end,
we could really guess and get the comp wrong all day. It's the commentator special. But yeah, Good Morning. Last set they did, we missed them on stream. Went 3-2 against Suspicious. So I'm interested to see how they perform against Spaghetters.
Yeah. So my comp prediction here is that Havoc is definitely going to have a bucket. Looks like. Good Morning here. I'm definitely going to predict that they're going to run pretty much just shooters all the way up here. Maybe throw a K down.
You making those predictions even though they're right?
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic
great predictions.
Objectively correct.
Objectively correct. You are not wrong. And I predict Spaghetters is going to get mid pretty quickly. And okay, joking aside, they're getting mid, but they're not getting picks with getting mid. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Got some jumps going out. We're not seeing the whole story here. What's going on here? Okay, Good Morning. Kind of all swarming the tower here. They kind of got it figured out. I mean, I just didn't see any of their players up until that point, so that was weird. Just their positioning is really strategic here. But already past the first checkpoint, no big deal. It's Manta Tower. But it's really once you get past that second and especially third checkpoints when problems start arising. And, in the first minute of the game, when you're reaching the second checkpoint, well, that's not good news if your name is Spaghetters.
For sure. It looks like Tower isn't going to be on its way back to mid. Never mind. Yeah. I don't really know what to say here besides Good Morning does kind of have a hold on the situation here. Oh, it does look like Spaghetters is going to get up on that wall, get the picks they needed, plural, and hopefully get this tower back into a more neutral ground. You focusing on this turf or map control here, so we can push Good Morning kind of back onto their own side. Very important, as we've seen in the last couple of games, especially with how Spaghetters was focusing on that map control in the last set.
Right, and if you missed last set, I mean, what you need to know is Spaghetters was so good at positioning that map control kind of was thrown out the window. But things can change between sets. And so far, Good Morning, I mean, we're finally kind of we're going to have to see what their defense looks like here in this scenario. But so far, they're doing a good job slowing down Spaghetters. But neither team really has any picks to make anything happen. Seeing one down on each side. But Omega here going to go around. Everyone's just kind of everywhere right now. Everyone's kind of doing their own 1v1. But
yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, everyone won their 1v1 on the side of Good Morning.
No, it's actually really cool. Just I don't know. That was just a funny little moment there. Yeah, Good Morning was able to kind of get some control here and get it right back to where they were the last time we were talking about Tower. Going to be eating through that second checkpoint real quick here. And let's get around the corner. It looks like Spaghetters here is pretty much just got wiped. Did I miss that? Yeah, they just got wiped. And Good Morning just going to be Caden up on this perch here. Just going to keep trying to pick him off, put a little pressure on. And 2 points away from goal, just like that.
Yeah, 2 points. Caden almost gets it, but Havoc was out there defending it. And all we got left is Keen, who is still providing jumps. And I will mention, Good Morning is a pretty offensive team. You know, they're running this quad shooter comp, no backline, no nonsense, no slasher. So, you know, they kind of have to play like that if they want to succeed. We saw a little bit of the weakness in that in their defense, where they kind of had to let the tower come to them. And that could be a big downside. But so far, they're managing it quite well. Spaghetters, if they play that to their advantage, I think could possibly get that KO that they need.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see that special come out here from Rise, you said it was?
I assume, you know.
Cool. That's what I'm going to go with. I apologize if that's incorrect. Yeah, we are going to see Spaghetters here start to get this tower through that first checkpoint. But nice positioning on the bubbles here from Good Morning. And, ooh, nasty pick right there. It's that mid splashdown. But yeah, the map here is just such a mix of purple and yellow right now. But Good Morning is going to be coming out on top here in mid to start to move that tower, or not. Wow, this game is so back and forth. It's hard to make a storyline out of this.
Everyone's everywhere at once, and it doesn't help that Good Morning, while they were trying to defend, Keen was just kind of back there infiltrating. Spaghetters slowly ripping them apart and letting the rest of Good Morning kind of get together and make an offense. We're seeing Caden here kind of join up back with the team and get these peaks that they need. Oh, I think Havoc disconnected. But it's too late. Nothing can happen out of that, so unfortunately, you know. Okay, I felt like the timer was on 2 for like a really long time there.
Yeah, I
was waiting for the game to end. But, that's game 1 going to Good Morning. Really, really solid showing there from them. But I think both teams have a lot of potential to kind of take the set here.
Sure, yeah, that it was kind of almost a long push there all the way down to 2. It felt like all of a sudden we were clearing the second checkpoint, talking a little bit about how good their positioning was, and then all of a sudden they almost knocked. Like, it was just that quick.
Yeah, and next up, you're going to see Rainmaker on Sturgeon. And here's the problem I'm thinking. I said this last set is that unlike tower control, Rainmaker moves as fast as your team can move. Unlike tower control, where you kind of have to wait for that set speed. And with Good Morning's aggression that we saw that last game, this could be bad for Spaghetters. They're gonna have to do something to possibly counter it or flex their more defensive-oriented comp to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, Sturgeon Shipyard here. I kind of think. Yeah, this is the one where you kind of got those 3 options, I guess. You could either go to the right, to the left, or to the really left.
The really left, and most people go really left.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's the best path because you get a wipe like that, and all of a sudden you're right by the pedestal if you time that correctly.
Yeah. And this is no problem for the teams in grand finals of a 32-team weekly, but I'm still going to mention that this is probably one of the hardest Rainmaker maps because it requires such good team coordination. It's like, if you go the really left, you have to go up and like over the block, and getting all 4 of your teammates to kind of support you if you're carrying the Rainmaker can be so tough. So it's really a test of team coordination on this map mode, alongside, your usual Rainmaker fundamentals.
For sure, yeah, and sometimes on that spot, you make it up there, and you're just on your own. Just do the best you can,
Right. There's so many times back when I used to be like new to this game. It's just like I would go up and I would be the only one there because it's just so hard to kind of get your teammates all together. Unlike other Rainmaker maps where you can kind of run parallel to the Rainmaker, this map is different.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when that bridge is not in the correct position. It's just such a like narrow little path. One splatter scope and it's over for you.
Right. And, still waiting on teams here. Again, we did have a disconnect, so Waiting on one more to come in. Not sure what their status is, but we'll get there eventually.
In a moment or two.
In a moment. Okay, just joined. Cool. So they're writing up their comps right now, and we'll see what they do. What do you think on comps here? I think so far we haven't seen Spaghetters change their comp at all. We watched them last set, so I don't know if they're going to change this time. There's really no reason, but I don't know.
I think a solid prediction here is that on the side of Spaghetters, Havoc is going to be coming out with a weapon of the bucket variety.
The bucket variety. He's always done that. He's always been a shooter. Havoc's always been a bucket person.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the other two. Banana Man, I've known him. I've never really known what he plays, though. I don't know about the fourth, though. I'm sorry, sir. I don't really know who you are. That's okay, though. Can't win them all.
Really see a reason to change up comps here almost. Because, I mean, the thing with Spaghetters losing that last game, I don't feel like was a comp issue. It just felt like Good Morning was constantly, in the correct position and using those, utilizing those specials just perfectly.
Right.
I think it's more of a... Oh, go for it.
Oh, yeah. Just, I'll make this quick because we're starting. But what I think is Good Morning's comp was just like TLD are way more aggressive because they had less range, so... Oh, no, they are going to opt for a little more range on that C-Jet. Yeah, C-Jet's going to provide them with the Ray, as opposed to the V-Jet we're seeing on the side of Spaghetters, which will provide them the missiles. Both are great options in the 2022 Splatoon 2 late stage comp.
I thought we were going somewhere else to that.
Nope.
Yeah, it looks like... Who at the pop there was Spaghetters, I think.
I think it was, because most of the maps, most of the paint's there. They were really aggressive getting that Rainmaker. I don't know if that really benefited them, but it kind of flipped. Good Morning's now in the position they were in a couple of seconds ago, so both teams just kind of feeling each other out right now. That little comp switch, both teams kind of on equal playing field in terms of range. So, no one really wants to initiate yet.
Everyone's just kind of chilling back. We see a bomb here, a shot or two there. It's just such a... Yeah, no one's even getting even close to mid here. It's kind of funny. It's going to have to make a move at some point.
Right, and we're seeing the moves now. Inkjet and missiles and armor are all going to be a good recipe to make a killer cake here. But it's not going to do that much. Good Morning doing something good. Like, they just identified. They're like, okay, they're popping all their specials. Don't die. That's number one priority. Don't die. And now that kind of backfired on the side of Spaghetters, Good Morning can just get that paint control in check. But still, not a lot of scoring going on here. First minute and a half of the game. Good Morning's just kind of... I think they're going to just wait for specials per the usual. Seeing an armor and possibly bubbles coming up real soon. And they're going to take the Rainmaker to the right, I think.
I'm trying to see where it's going here.
Yes, going right.
Oh, there we go.
You don't see that very often, but early in this game, it's still early in the game. Let's just call it that. Just to get the points on the board, I think that's fair.
Oh, we're going to take it up again and just go for it again. Looks like Q was there, though, to just put a stop to that push right away. Looks like we're going to work on cleaning up a little bit of this side of the map. Watch the Bond kill right there. Getting a little bit of control on this side of the map, but Good Morning is already back in position, ready to put pressure on him just to keep him in their spawn. And we're going to get a Rainmaker reset, and we're kind of in that situation again, almost a little bit of a stalemate, until Havoc jumps right back in here near the Rainmaker again. It's so hard to predict kind of what these teams are going to do, because you see them do one thing in one push, and then the next they'll get into a similar situation and then just decide to go aggressive.
So here's the problem. We were seeing that stalemate situation again, but why that stalemate was happening in the earlier part of the game is because Rainmaker's such a snowbally map mode in general, that like both teams knew if the other team picked up the Rainmaker, it would just be doom. Like that's something bad's gonna happen, and that something bad happened to the Spaghetters, where Good Morning got their points down to 28. So now that that's happened, Good Morning can just play a little more relaxed, kind of go for really, really crazy aggressive plays and not really have any repercussions happen.
Gotcha, yeah. So it's just a nothing to lose situation.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the problem for Spaghetters, because now Good Morning, they can play aggressively, and they can play aggressively really well. We've seen that in the last game. So now that they can do that without many repercussions, it's going to be a problem. And we can see it here. They're just kind of sitting back there, doing their usual bomb spam. That's really it's bread and butter of defending on Rainmaker.
Yeah, we saw the really left path come into play here a little bit. Unfortunately, yeah, that bomb stand did put a stop to Spaghetter's push, but they did get the pop here. But, Good Morning is just sitting up here playing in this defensive position right now, but we are going to see an Inkjet come out from Q here. Try to get that pick on Shad. Is that the name? Yeah, cool.
I'm seeing the Rainmaker just barely got up that ramp, but looks like they picked them real quick. But yeah, it's gotten pretty close. I guess Good Morning's defense isn't quite as strong as I thought it would be. That's what happens when you can go that really left path. I guess that's the official name now.
It is. I don't make the rules.
You don't make the rules. It's called that now. But it is reset, and really, there was nothing Spaghetters could do but the Rainmaker in that spot. That ramp is such a strange thing in this game.
Yeah, and once it's up there, why would you do anything but reset it or let it reset? There's no advantage to picking it up there, really. So Spaghetter's going to be able to pick up this Rainmaker one final time, but we are going to see the GG Ray come out there, and that is going to be game 2 for Good Morning.
Knew that Ray would come into play. We haven't seen that Ray much that whole game until that spot, which is odd because, well, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but the Ray charges really fast on that weapon, so no surprise that it showed up there. Okay, 5 Rays. Guess I just need to start watching this game.
Maybe we just didn't get a view of him on spec. I actually don't.
Maybe we were just looking at the wrong game.
Yeah.
Hey, 2-0. Good Morning so far. It's looking pretty good for them, but Spaghetter's been holding on a little bit. It's been pretty close, all things considered, especially that last game. I think they could turn it around if they kind of figure out what's making Good Morning get these crucial wins, like the little wins. It's all the little battles throughout these games that give you the win.
For sure, yeah. Like we see them set up like that. When Spaghetters here tried to take that really left path, they get up on that box and immediately as they're making that jump, Good Morning has already got 2 suction bombs over there,
Right.
and just in position ready to get those picks. So, Good Morning is just doing a really good job of reading the moves of Spaghetters here. But on Clamblitz, reading moves is, honestly does come into a little bit less of play. It almost feels like at times, there's less of a line of this is your side, this is my side. As we get a little bit more spread out on the map. So I think defense is really going to come into play here, and Good Morning did do a fantastic job of that in the last game.
And what comes to mind for me is on Clamblitz is it's always the little fights throughout Clamblitz, because you got Tower Control and Rainmaker, which we saw the first 2 games where the objective kind of moves alongside the map, but Clamblitz, the objective is the map. So yeah. I remember that one moment in Tower Control on game 1 where, everyone was just kind of fighting everyone for a second. We're going to be seeing that the entire game, isn't it? It's going to be like that, isn't it? Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's a blob. I love it.
I'm here for that.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's good, actually.
We see we're seeing more and more blobs throughout comp Splatoon, especially on a map mode like this where you're just gonna have people kind of everywhere at once. You need that raw map control, and Blob provides it. It may not paint the map, but the projectiles create such good map control.
Yeah, who wants to get close to that?
You don't want to get close to it. Exactly, it's the mental.
You mess that up, and you're just you're one person down now.
You can see Keen here. Keen here's been the absolute master of winning 1v1s, and it's going to shine here. Finally going down, but not without helping their clan carrier get the basket break down to 74 points. In the first minute, it's all right. It's good to get the first score, but I think Spaghetters, if they can figure out kind of where Keen is, they got to keep an eye on that person. Then maybe they can start figuring things out. 3 specials on the board. All they need is a claim to initiate a push, and I'm not sure who's holding it in this comp. I could see the Blob holding it.
Yes. I'm looking here, and they just keep giving up clams here. They just keep going down. You know, all of a sudden it was 9, then it was 6, and it was 2.
Right. Yeah, not looking too good. Again, it's all about the 1v1s here in Clan Blitz, and yeah, I mean, even with 2 down on the side of Good Morning, they're gonna get the basket break. It's all about. I think right now it's gonna be death by paper cuts, down to 67. I mean, 72 to 67. About 2 minutes into this game. Well, not the greatest 2 pushes I've ever seen, but hey, more than what Spaghetters is doing right now. So
Yeah,
I think that's a win for them.
But we are finally seeing a few more clams, 21 now on the side of Spaghetters, and got that ball, and we are going to see the basket break here. And Banana, almost being able to escape that one too.
Yeah, everyone just kind of goes down at once. Good Morning just kind of knew who should fight who in that very moment. And very coordinated defense on their part, especially on a map like the Reef, where range isn't really as important as other map modes. Their comps are really kind of doing great here.
Sure, we are going to see Keen kind of play this little alley here a little bit, and is going to get the pick on Havoc and throw up that wall. Unfortunately, doesn't look like they're going to not going to be able to throw in any extra clams, but Good Morning is going to get that all the way down to 12. Get it down to 9. They're just picking up clams.
Wow.
As you can see, the clams go 1-0, 1-0, and it looks like that is going to be the end of the push for Good Morning. This is definitely a tough comeback for Spaghetters at this point.
Yeah, they had that figured out. Finally gonna make finally seeing a pretty substantial push here in this game. 2 minutes left. Plenty of time for Spaghetters to kind of figure something out, but you know, you're in grand finals. Are you gonna be able to kind of get that coordination in check? Because you know you always gotta account for turning nerves. Maybe you're a little scared to like kind of do anything crazy.
Yeah, but, for sure.
Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing that. They're hesitant to kind of push in. They got 2 clams. They got the ingredients to make a good push. They just need the coordination and the team play. But right now, it's kind of falling apart. Good Morning going to break the basket. Are they going to be able to get that KO?
They're going to break through a significant amount of penalty points there, but we are seeing that last ball go in. That is going to be game 3 for Good Morning. So we are going to bring this all the way down to Splat Zones. Do you have a prediction here on what we're going to see on Splat Zones?
Well, so far, I think Good Morning is looking pretty dominant. I mean, Spaghetters was doing pretty good on Rainmaker. It was a pretty close set, all things considered. Close game, excuse me. But, you know, that Clan Blitz, they really had, Good Morning really had it figured out. And I think what it comes down to is all those 1v1s we were seeing. And on something like Splat Zones, that's still pretty important. So Splat Zones Anchovy, I think what could really benefit Spaghetters here is their familiarity with range, maybe, because we saw them run Jet Squelcher in Tower Control and Rainmaker, so they feel a little more comfortable running something with like a backline in their comp. But I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too. Is every time we see Good Morning playing these games that we've just watched, is they're really good at just figuring out when to push and where to push, and just taking whenever they have an opportunity to just take a part of that map, they just take as much as they can and run with it, which is exactly what we saw with Spaghetters in the last set. Being able to know how to position themselves, and now they're kind of getting a taste of their own medicine with Good Morning, just being able to do the same thing. And with Splat Zones, that positioning and that map control really is the name of the game.
Yeah, it's anyone's game. I mean, Good Morning still up 3 points, but we've seen Spaghetters do some great things throughout this set, so I believe in them still. But it's match point. You got to think of the mental game. I mean, match point of grand finals, you really got to pull it together, and that's way easier said than done.
And then see, these are also the beginning of, funny Splatoon sets, is when the set does become 3-1, all of a sudden that's fantastic mental game to be the start of a reverse sweep. So if Spaghetters can take this might not be the last game they win tonight.
Right, we've seen him plenty of times throughout Splatoon journeys. If they get this, and then I don't know, the momentum could carry. We've seen it plenty of times. It's not uncommon, but you know they got to get it first. That's so much harder than most people would realize, especially right now. 2 down inside of Spaghetters. Good morning's gonna. Okay, good morning's gonna start pushing up. I think. Really nothing else to say so far. I mean, Keen here is going to do what Keen does, say good morning, and push up in people's faces. But, hey, Spaghetter is going to get that zone cap so far.
They take that pretty much just all through bombs.
It's Ancho. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And Q here going to get a good pick on Caden. But Keen's going to be there to once again say good morning. And look, King just swims through their ink. He does not care. whatever it takes to get to the opponent.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Keen is really just up here putting that pressure on, just not letting them anywhere near that zone. It's kind of entertaining to watch here. Spaghetters is just forced back onto their own side, keep having to fall back just from this much pressure from Good Morning, but they are able to get control of the zone. But it is such a back and forth here, as they got to keep, every time they get into that zone, they've got to keep their attention on where Good Morning is positioned, just because of how, you know, they have been able to move around the map and put themselves in a fantastic position every time. But Good Morning did go down there, and while they're working their way back in, Spaghetters is taking this opportunity to get some of this map control back and give them a taste of their own necks, keeping them on their side while they are eating down that clock, and did manage to take the lead.
Yeah, right now looking like Spaghetter's putting up a pretty solid defense. I'm not sure if Good Morning's kind of waiting for specials to charge, because they seem a lot more passive than they usually are. Yeah, I think they are, because after that Booyah Bomb, they really went in. But Havoc here doing an incredible job to keep that defense in check. Going to get a double and another one on the side of Spaghetters to get that +1 down to a possible KO here. I mean, nothing more to say here. That was incredible defense on the side of Spaghetters.
That double from Havoc was crucial in that moment with those specials moving in and being able to maintain control of that zone and even move into a knockout. This could be the beginning of something big here for Spaghetters. But yeah, that was a much better job of being able to read Good Morning's pushes and being right there ready to counteract them. And immediately as they had that opportunity to push them back onto their own side, they were just there ready to do it. If they can do the same here, coming up in Tower Control Inkblot, this could be huge. But as you said, you know, Tower Control, you can only move as fast as the tower.
Right.
So with that in mind, Good Morning's kind of almost methodical way of positioning may lead to this being a stronger mode for them, like we saw on Manta Maria.
Yeah, I mean, bad news for Spaghetters. I mean, that was the only zones match of this set so far. Well, at all. I keep thinking there's going to be a bracket reset. No, it's not. It's single win. Sorry, I'm just used to low ink. But, you know, you got to feel good if you're Spaghetters. That's got to feel great. I've been in that grand final scenario a couple times, and the nerves are real. They are real. And if you get that win to finally stop that match point scenario, like, that's got to feel so good.
Oh, for sure. Like, this is a huge mental game boost for Spaghetters. Like, I don't know. Vapor, can you tell me, are the teams taking their time to ready up here a little bit, or is it just one team readied up? Or what's the situation here? Okay, thank you. I was going to say, yeah. Good Morning just readying up immediately here. Spaghetter's taking a little more time to let that clock run out and, you know, get a game plan together.
Yeah, and, you know, keep in mind, Good Morning's been a team for a while, so I think they just got their comp figured out. You eventually kind of find what works for your team, no matter what the map and mode is. So, and Spaghetters, as far as I know, is a pickup. I'm like 99% sure it's pickup. If it's not, do something about it.
I was going to say, like, I hope this isn't a pickup because it was fantastic branding. I hope Havoc Spaghetti stays around.
Please keep Havoc Spaghetti around. Hey, both teams kind of feeling each other out so far. Well, I'm lying. Spaghetters doing a really aggressive start here. Pretty uncharacteristically aggressive start. They're really riding off the hype of that last game.
Yeah,
But,
right. They were just there immediately, ready to throw those blobber shots just up over the edge. Keep Good Morning pushed back, but Caden here was, just in a great spot here to hold off Spaghetters. And wow, we are already going to see them being able to take the lead again. Going to force Spaghetters to fall back here into a little bit more of a defensive position as we see those bubbles come out.
Yeah, it's really anyone's game based on the performance we've seen from both teams in the first minute of the game. But Havoc's doing great work with this burst bomb launcher to kind of put up a solid defense twice. Another double from Havoc within the set, at least caught on stream. Don't know what else he's doing off camera here, but yeah,
This is the Havoc fan page now.
Havoc fan page. What can I say? Love Havoc.
It's good though. No, I love every time we tune in. We're seeing some super aggressive bucket gameplay, which is just yes, satisfied from this finally. Some good bucket gameplay.
Ah, yes. We're just the bucket enthusiasts. Yeah, both teams kind of. Well, Spaghetters really wants to make that push, but Good Morning is just gonna do their usual bomb spam. We saw them do that in the Rainmaker match on game 2, but still applies here. And Omega gonna just Keenan Omega are just like, all right, we're fed up. We're just gonna stop this now.
Take care.
And they did. I think Good Morning's aggression just scares me. They can just do that, can't they? They just did that.
Yeah, just for fun, as a treat.
As a treat. But I don't know. The aggression isn't really applying to the tower push, and I'm gonna put the blame on that blob. Look at what that blob is doing so far. Just sitting up there, they cannot touch that blob, and provide that incredible map control. Again, if you weren't listening, the projectiles, they might not paint as much as other weapons, but the projectiles themselves are just great control because you don't want to go near them. They do damage. That's bad. That's icky.
It's a negative.
It is a negative. You get bad brain signal when you go near those things, and they know it.
We really are just simple beings, aren't we? Damage equal bad.
Damage equal bad. Paint equal good. Seeing some missiles get popped, and possibly bubbles going out, and alongside Mink Armor going to be potentially a push coming in, but Spaghetters, they just got such a solid defense. You have a super good offense versus a super good defense here, unmovable object versus unstoppable force, or however that saying goes. But
unstoppable force meets immovable object.
Yes, that's what's going on here. While we were pondering our existence, Spaghetters gets a quad on Good Morning. That's pretty uncharacteristic. We're talking about how good their defense is. Let's talk about that offense right here. Getting that tower past that checkpoint. What is that, the first checkpoint? No, that's checkpoint 2. I promise I played this game. Gonna take the lead. They're doing so good right now.
Yeah, right? Yeah, this all of a sudden, we're just moving all the way back, and that's checkpoint number 2, checkpoint number 3, and they're just still going. But Good Morning here, being this close to spawn and hitting all those respawns are able to kind of neutralize Spaghetters. Neutralize Spaghetters here. And but wow, they're still over there.
They're still doing it. They're just being annoying.
I thought they had all jumped back at this point, and all of a sudden we got that overhead view. I'm like, oh, they're just still there.
It's just Havoc doing Havoc things. And you know what the best news is for Spaghetters is? They have 23 points, and their defense has been incredible this whole game. So 20 seconds left. They're just going to sit there and throw bombs and be an annoying blobber.
Why not? Why would you do anything else in this situation?
Just play lame, win games. But they weren't playing lame. They did something incredible, and now they can sit back and relax for these last 3 seconds. Unless they don't. Because we're in overtime, and anything can happen in overtime.
This is where we got to start playing a little bit carefully, because Good Morning got a little bit of scary, bad map control there. And Horror moving in, so this actually could be the set real quick.
Oh no!
No,
Wait, this could be
Havoc
the end.
Oh no! I thought we had the stop. I thought Havoc had it. Oh,
It's okay. Well,
so good.
wow.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
set.
Good morning. Good morning. Said. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
They can finally rest easy after winning grand finals of SOS 74 4-2-1.
I was not in grand finals was about to end mode. I was
Right?
I was in they were going to defend and we're going to move on to Rainmaker mode. Which you know what? That's fine.
I was like, Spaghetters, they've got this real quick. We're just gonna, we're gonna pop a couple specials right now. We're just gonna, take it easy. We'll run the clock, and then we'll have some more Splatoon 2 gameplay. And then all of a sudden, Good Morning just turned it around and just got it, just like that.
No more Splatoon 2 gameplay. It's over. That was the last Splatoon 2 gameplay ever.
I'd like everyone to know that I bet all of my IPL channel points on Good Morning, so there was a little bit of bias there.
There was no bias. Well, there was a little. No more Splatoon.
A little bit.
Anyways, hey, that was the end of SOS 74. Thank you all for coming out real quick. Hey, let's do the plugs real quick. Have you heard about Super Jump 2?
I have not. Tell you about Super Jump.
You haven't. That's concerning because we just talked about it. Anyways, it's coming up July 23rd, 24th. Start.gg/SJ2 will bring you to the sign up and more info page. Yes, we are using StartGG. Cry about it. And we have a prize pool of $500, and you can donate to make it bigger if you like making prize pools bigger. I
do like numbers that are bigger.
Numbers do go up.
Almost always.
Almost always. Yeah, so that's our major event coming up, replacing low ink. If you're low level, if you normally play in low ink, please play in this. It's great, and you're going to love it. If you are not low ink eligible, play in it too, because this is a major. And we also want to talk about Riptide. Riptide is a
one. Oh,
why don't you tell us about Riptide, Devin?
I'll go for it. So Riptide, if you're unfamiliar, is in the great state of Ohio. It's going to be September 9th through 11th coming up this year. We are going to have Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. And if you would like to come to a water park LAN, if you were there last year, you know what it's about. If you were at LTC, you know what it's about. If not, go check out Riptide's awesome trailer, get a little taste for what's going to be going on, and go register today at start.gg/Riptide.
And with that is all from us tonight from IPL. Me, JPEG, Devin, and our wonderful streamer Vapor tonight, putting out the hard work to bring you guys this awesome content.
Yeah, thank you, JPEG, for commentating with me. Vapor, thank you for streaming. Thank you all for having both me and JPEG on tonight. It was a ton of fun, actually. Wow, I can't get over that last set. I wasn't ready to end this yet. We had another game as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, it happens. No, that's what makes competitive Splatoon so good. It's those kind of stories to tell. But yeah, I mean that's it. So we'll see you next week. Swimmer Sync 75. Until then.
See you later, guys.